My female members are all sexy beauties. My name is Lin Xiaofeng. After graduation, I went to work as a trainer in a gym. I thought it was a boring job, but who would have thought that the female members would make all kinds of requests to me? Chapter 1, Let Me Go. My name is Lin Xiaofeng, and today I realized that beauty is a kind of magic. And I am standing amidst a crowd of people sweating it out, all striving to master that magic. Just graduated, I started working as a trainer at a fitness institute. Maybe it's because I exercised a lot during school, but my physique is quite outstanding, and my looks aren't bad either. I've also had some decent results. However, when compared to team leader Chen, who is training a female member alone, my results seem insignificant. Yes, just like that, spread your legs, slowly lower yourself, good, keep it up. Following the sound, I saw a scene that immediately made my heart race. My face seemed to catch fire, burning with embarrassment. Team leader Chen's hand was resting on a female member's waist, helping her do a lower back exercise. It started off fine, but after a while, his hand slowly began to wander, sliding down until it was dangerously close to the woman's private area, rubbing it gently. The woman trembled, almost as if shocked by electricity, but she didn't push his hand away. Instead, she squeezed her legs together and seemed to enjoy it, biting her lip, her eyes closed. The expression on her face froze me in place. After a while, she finally relaxed her legs. She was wearing white gym shorts, and I could clearly see that one area of the shorts seemed darker, almost wet. I immediately understood what had happened. I lowered my head, trying to suppress the flames that were rising within me, and hurried to the bathroom to splash some water on my face. This wasn't the first time I'd seen team leader Chen like this. No wonder he had such good results. If I could do the same. As a young man in my 20s, full of energy, it was hard not to think that way. Just then, lost in my thoughts, I didn't notice the corner ahead and crashed right into someone's embrace, feeling something soft against my chest. Looking up, I realized I had bumped into the boss's wife. Lin Xiaofeng, were you doing that on purpose? Boss's wife Xu Hailu, dressed in a professional gym outfit, her flat stomach, rounded thighs, and the snow-white skin on her chest revealed in her clothes it all showed clearly. Hailu, I didn't mean to. I wasn't paying attention just now. I quickly explained, still distracted by the scene between team leader Chen and the female member. Did you enjoy that just now? Xu Hailu casually twirled a strand of hair around her finger, clearly not upset about the earlier collision. Instead, she was giving me a sly look, obviously aware of what I had been watching. Huh? I didn't. I was flustered, unable to explain myself properly. Thankfully, Xu Hailu let it slide, changing the subject. Xiaofeng, your performance recently has been really poor. At this rate, all your clients are going to be taken by Chen Gang. Do you know that? Hearing this, I had nothing to say. Good jobs are hard to find these days. After I graduated, it took me a long time to get this one. If I don't improve, I might really have no choice but to leave. Why don't you learn from Chen Gang? Tomorrow I'll introduce a new client to you. If you can't keep her, I'll have no choice but to fire you. Think it over. After she said that, she turned and left. I watched her alluring figure walk away, feeling parched. Thinking back to the moment I bumped into her, I couldn't shake the image from my mind. Wait a minute, what did the boss's wife just say? She'll introduce me to a client, and I need to learn from team leader Chen. Suddenly, my heart skipped a beat, and I felt my pulse race. Learn from team leader Chen, does that mean I have to? At that thought, my mouth went dry. Could I really do that kind of thing? I remembered when I first started working here, I'd blush whenever I had to make physical contact with a female member. Of course, it wasn't just blushing. So, every time, I'd rush to the bathroom to wash my face, trying to clear my mind. But now, asking me to flirt with clients? Wouldn't that be humiliating? Still, since the boss's wife said it, and given that I really need to improve my performance, with my current results, I can't afford to mess up. Other trainers might not be as smooth as team leader Chen, but at least they are better at handling things. I'd even seen team leader Chen picking up a female client and driving her home. In the underground parking lot, his Audi was shaking up and down. I knew exactly what that meant. Team leader Chen is only a few years older than me, and he already has an Audi. Meanwhile, I have to take the bus home every day. The difference is stark. At this point, I steeled myself. If Chen Gang can do it, why can't I? So, I stepped off the bus, made my way to my rental apartment, and began preparing. I don't usually wear perfume, but for tomorrow's big moment, I decided to use some for once. Xiaofeng, what are you doing home so early today? Did you get fired? Just as I was about to open the door, a figure swept past me and pulled my head into her chest. I immediately knew who it was. Chen, let go. I can't breathe. There she was, Shui Chen, my childhood friend who lives upstairs. But now, the proximity was a little too much. My entire face was buried in her left chest. Her arm wrapped around my neck, pressing my head down, causing her prominent chest to flatten against me. A pleasant fragrance filled my nose, and I couldn't help but breathe it in deeply. You haven't grown much, huh? You're a big guy, but we're the same height. Chen noticed the awkward position and quickly let go of me. She has always been this way, brash and carefree. We've known each other since we were kids, and I would usually tell her anything. But today, after what the boss's wife asked me to do, I didn't know how to bring it up. What's wrong? You're acting all down today, like a wilted eggplant. Chen quickly noticed something was off. She cupped my face in both hands, staring at me with an assessing gaze. Looking at her beautiful and exquisite face, I was momentarily stunned. Then, the intimate moments I had just witnessed flashed in my mind, and a strange fire began to burn within me. Chapter 2, Disgusting. I quickly pushed her hand away, took out my keys, opened the door, and rushed in, slamming it shut behind me. I'm tired today. Let us talk about it tomorrow. Outside, Chen frowned, clearly confused about what was going on. Hey, I've decided. I'm going to sign up at your gym to work out. See you tomorrow. After saying that, Chen turned and walked away. I waited until I saw Chen leave through the peephole before letting out a long sigh of relief. Wait, did Chen mean she was going to sign up at the gym? Could it be that the member the boss's wife mentioned was Chen? My mind was a mess, and I couldn't sleep all night. By the time morning came, I had huge dark circles under my eyes. When I arrived at the gym, I was almost late. I didn't schedule any classes for you this morning, but that female member will be coming in the afternoon. Get ready. As soon as I stepped into the gym, the boss's wife grabbed me and pulled me aside. Hi Lu, who is this female member? Thinking of what Chen had said last night, I couldn't help but feel curious. Could it really be Chen? As far as I knew, Chen had just graduated too, and her family was much better off than mine. But surely she couldn't be the important member the boss's wife was talking about, right? You little brat, fine, I'll tell you. She is a beautiful CEO. If you can keep her as a member, you won't have to worry about performance anymore. The boss's wife gave me an exasperated look, then reluctantly told me who the member was. A beautiful CEO. I swallowed hard. Such an important member, why would the boss's wife send me to handle this? If she was that important, shouldn't it be someone more experienced, like Chen Gang, who takes care of her? Are you wondering why I'm choosing you and not Chen Gang? The boss's wife fixed me with a fox-like gaze, and immediately saw through my thoughts. Well, yes. I wasn't good at lying, so I nodded honestly. Chen Gang isn't suitable. You'll understand later. Anyway, you don't have much to do today. Just take care of the odds and ends, and clean up gym room too. Go ahead. The boss's wife's eyes flashed with a hint of displeasure, though I didn't notice. I grabbed a bucket of water and went to clean gym room 2 as instructed. But as I arrived at the door of gym room 2, just as I was about to open it, I suddenly heard low voices coming from inside. Wait, is gym room 2 supposed to be empty today? I felt confused. Moreover, the door to gym room 2 was locked from the inside, which made it even more puzzling. Then I remembered that gym room 2 had a small window. If I stood on something higher, I might be able to see what was going on inside. I put down the bucket and immediately grabbed a chair, quietly moving over to the small window. The window was a ventilation vent, located in a corner, so no one would usually pay attention to it. When I peered through the small window, I was immediately stunned. Inside was Chen Gang, and the female member from yesterday. Chen Gang won't notice, right? The female member was lying on a gym bench, dressed in smart gym shorts and a tank top, her face flushed. She bit her upper lip, twisting her body like a snake on the bench. By her expression, it was clear that she wasn't resisting, she actually seemed to want more. Chen Gang smiled, his hands slowly moving over the female member's stomach, gently pressing with a rhythmic force. What's wrong? I'm just giving you a relaxation massage. We did the same thing in the car earlier, didn't we? This will help relax your muscles and tone your hips. Don't worry, I've locked the door. No one will find out. The female member seemed to be unable to take it, squirming under Chen Gang's skilled hands. Chen Gang, however, remained calm, as if enjoying teasing her. I nearly couldn't control myself and rushed up to take over for Chen Gang, but of course, this was just a thought in my head. If I were in Chen Gang's position, I would definitely not be able to do the same thing. You bad guy. I'll add 5 more sessions to your pay. The female member, her eyes clouded with desire, wrapped her arms around Chen Gang's neck and pulled him closer. I had seen Chen Gang play around with female members a few times before, but this was the first time it was so blatant. I couldn't watch anymore. If I kept watching, I was worried I wouldn't be able to stop myself. Half an hour later, the two finally left gym room 2. The female member staggered as she walked, throwing Chen Gang a flirtatious look before leaving. She naturally added 5 more sessions to his pay. So that's how Chen Gang makes his money. No wonder he could afford an Audi, he really earned it through his hard work. Xiaofeng, I asked you to clean gym room 2. Is it done yet? Just as I was feeling a mix of envy and jealousy, the boss's wife suddenly appeared behind me like a ghost. I jumped, startled by her presence, and quickly grabbed the water bucket to head into gym room 2. I had already cleaned up the rest of the gym, but thinking about what I'd just seen, I couldn't stop myself from rushing to the bathroom and dry heaving. Chapter 3, First Meeting with the Female CEO. What's wrong? You can't handle this much. Just as I was vomiting, I didn't realize when the boss's wife had appeared behind me. She covered her face with a smile, her lips curling into a faint grin as she looked at me. At this moment, I seriously had the urge to curse. Was I really the kind of person who cleans up rooms in some seedy place? Even in such situations, at least they wear gloves and masks, right? I had even touched those women before, and just thinking about it made me want to chop off my hands. Seems like you still need some practice. Did you know, before you, someone else had already discovered what Chen Gang does with those female members? When I saw you rush to the bathroom just now, I thought you were about to lose control like them and deal with it yourself. The boss's wife looked at me, and though she didn't turn around, I knew she had that wicked smile on her face. Hi Lou, I'm fine now. After vomiting for a while, I started to feel better. I stood up, and sure enough, I saw that sly smile in the boss's wife's eyes. Damn, she was looking down on me. I swore to myself that I wasn't disgusted by those female members, but by Chen Gang. And thinking about how I might become like him someday, I suddenly felt disgusted with myself. This is to train you. That female member is about to arrive. Get ready. With your appearance right now, how are you going to meet her? The boss's wife pointed to the sweat on my forehead. The woman was a beautiful CEO. Even if she was looking for a fitness trainer, she'd want someone with a decent image. My current state definitely wasn't presentable. Fortunately, the gym had a special bathing area, like a public bath, with small partitions and curtains. I could at least wash up there. As soon as I entered the bath area, I saw Chen Gang. When he noticed me, he gave me a malicious smile. Chen Gang had a white towel wrapped around his waist, exposing his muscular upper body. Physically, I was no match for him. And when Chen Gang was doing what he did earlier, he was incredibly forceful. No wonder he attracted so many female members. You saw everything earlier, didn't you? Chen Gang walked up to me, sizing me up from top to bottom. I knew that look, full of contempt. I didn't expect you to be the type of person. My attitude towards Chen Gang had changed. Before, I treated him with respect because he was my senior and team leader. But after today's events, all respect for him had vanished. Hey, you've got a lot to learn. In this day and age, who isn't doing things for money? Haven't you seen plenty of women selling their bodies for money? Chen Gang chuckled, his tone turning cold. So you're the same as those women? I retorted sharply, causing him to fall silent. Clearly, his actions were no different from those women's. HMPH, you should focus on yourself. If you can't keep that CEO, you'll be packing up and leaving. Do you have the time to criticize me? Chen Gang snorted again. I had won this verbal spar, but it wasn't he going to last. My thoughts quickly shifted back to the female CEO. As Chen Gang had said, if I didn't keep her, I'd be fired. I'll definitely keep her. No matter what it takes. Thinking of Chen Gang's arrogant attitude earlier, I suddenly felt a surge of anger. I was going to prove to him that if he could do it, I could do it too. After lunch, the boss's wife called me into her office. There was someone else in the office, and when I saw them, I was immediately stunned. Even though she was wearing slightly loose casual clothes, they couldn't hide her stunning figure. Her long, slender legs were straight and flawless. She had a pale oval face, with eyes that seemed to say don't approach, and glossy, thick hair. Upon closer inspection, there wasn't a single flaw to be found. Moreover, her proud chest and perfect curves made my heart race. Normally, someone like her wouldn't need to come to a gym. Her body was already the ideal of any woman, so what more could she possibly work on? Let me introduce you. This is Lin Xiaofeng, the vice president of Lin Group. Coincidentally, you both share the same last name, so you're kind of family. The boss's wife saw me staring and quickly spoke, giving me a discreet pinch. I snapped out of it and immediately apologized to the big CEO. Sorry, I'm Lin Xiaofeng. I look forward to working with you. I hesitated for a moment before wondering if I should extend my hand for a handshake. Her hand was long and flawless, as tender as a piece of perfectly carved jade. Well, since Hailu introduced you, I'll try 2 lessons with you. If the results are good, I'll buy more. Lin Xiaofeng spoke, her voice like a clear spring in the mountains, but with a hint of coldness. This woman was hard to deal with. I couldn't help thinking to myself. Lin Xiaofeng was the vice president of a listed company, and someone who could reach that position at her age had to be an elite among elites. Anyone with a bit of luck would know how to handle her. A guy like Chen Gang, who touched female members without care, would probably be kicked out by her in an instant. No wonder the boss's wife made me take on this task. Xiaowen, don't worry, Xiaofeng is my treasure. I normally don't let him out for these kinds of things. The boss's wife immediately smiled and spoke. From the conversation between the boss's wife and Lin Xiaowen, it seemed like they had a good relationship. But what did the boss's wife mean by letting him out? Then I'll take him with me. Lin Xiaowen nodded, still with that cold expression. Take me with you? I froze for a second. What was this, some kind of trafficking? She didn't tell you. What I'm looking for is a personal trainer. If you pass my test, you'll need to be available at all times from now on. Lin Xiaowen gave me a glance. A personal trainer? Did that mean I had to go to her house and give private lessons? I suddenly felt overwhelmed. At least at the gym, the boss's wife was there to help cover for me. But if I went to Lin Xiaowen's house, it would be just the 2 of us, and any mistake would be all on me. Yes, you'll be going to Xiaowen's place to train her privately. A beautiful CEO like her training at the gym with others just doesn't look right, does it? The boss's wife gave me that mischievous smile again, which instantly gave me the creeps. Chapter 4. Here I come. Although my heart was pounding, I was still taken away by Lin Xiaowen. The Maybach parked downstairs is Lin Xiaowen's car. In the past, I didn't even dare to look at this kind of car, let alone sit in it. Can you drive? However, Lin Xiaowen's next words made me even more nervous. Yes. I answered honestly. The next moment, Lin Xiaowen threw the car keys into my hand. You drive, the address is Waterfront Garden Villa. It was my first time driving a Maybach and I was so nervous that after getting in, I couldn't even find the ignition button or the gear position. It was only with Lin Xiaowen's guidance that I found the ignition button and gear position. When Lin Xiaowen leaned over from the passenger seat just now, from my perspective, I could just see the snow-white area on her chest. Oh my god. I immediately thought, fuck it, even though I often see this kind of scene in the gym. But Lin Xiaowen's is completely different from those of ordinary members. It is extremely round and the shape is well maintained without any sagging at all. And it seemed that Lin Xiaowen was not wearing any underwear, but only breast stickers, so I could see even more. I quickly turned my head away. It wasn't that I didn't want to see it, but if I was too presumptuous in front of Lin Xiaowen, I would definitely be fired on the spot. After I finally calmed down, I drove Lin Xiaowen home. After parking the car, the big villa in front of me shocked me again. Is this the life of rich people? Lin Xiaowen lives alone in such a big villa. Isn't she afraid of being there in the middle of the night? There are shoes at the door, change them yourself and come in. I'll go change clothes, you wait for me in the living room. Lin Xiaowen brought me to the door of the villa and spoke to me. Good. I nodded, looking honest. I am a grown man, but in front of Lin Xiaowen, I lost my masculinity. I feel like Lin Xiaowen is suppressing me no matter what I do. Lin Xiaowen quickly changed her clothes into a simple fitness suit. There is almost no fat on the flat belly. Let's get started. Lin Xiaowen spoke to me and took me to the special fitness area in the villa. This is simply a small gym with everything you need. Got to say, it's good to have money. I stood aside and guided Lin Xiaowen's movements. To be honest, there was not much to give her any pointers. I guess I am not Lin Xiaowen's first fitness coach, so I can only try my best to find some minor problems. Do you always teach others with your mouth? Suddenly, Lin Xiaowen turned around and looked at me with some dissatisfaction. At first I didn't understand what Lin Xiaowen meant. Come and help me bend down. It wasn't until Lin Xiaowen's next words that I suddenly woke up. Yes, I am a fitness coach. There is no fitness coach who only relies on talking. Perhaps Lin Xiaowen's aura was too strong, making me forget my own duties. To help Lin Xiaowen bend down, I placed my hands on her slender waist. The smooth touch made my hands tremble the moment they touched. Hold on, don't move. As if she felt the trembling in my hands, Lin Xiaowen frowned slightly. The following exercises were not very difficult, but after such close contact with Lin Xiaowen, I was already sweating profusely. I tried hard to stop myself from having any random thoughts. It was clearly Lin Xiaowen who was exercising, but the sweat on my forehead was more than Lin Xiaowen's. You are such an interesting person. You look like you have a good figure. Why do you look weak now? Lin Xiaowen stopped exercising and looked up at me. Virtual. How can I be considered weak? It's clearly that I have too much yang energy, okay? But when faced with Lin Xiaowen's question, I was speechless for a long time and felt a little embarrassed. Let's stop here today. You are sweating all over. There are disposable towels in the bathroom. You can go wash yourself. There was no expression on Lin Xiaowen's face. After answering the phone, she spoke. I don't know whether she is satisfied or not with my service. Feeling nervous, I didn't dare to ask too many questions and could only look for the bathroom in the whole villa. He just told me to go take a shower, but didn't he even tell me where the bathroom was? After searching for a long time, I finally found the bathroom in a room. The size of this room alone was definitely as big as my house. What's more, this bathroom is very novel. It uses a one-way mirror. You can see outside from the inside, but you can't see inside from the outside. Is this the sentiment of rich people? After taking a comfortable shower, I was about to push the door open when I suddenly heard the door of the room being opened. Baby, I miss you so much. You haven't answered my calls for a long time. I'm really worried to death. From the bathroom, you can clearly see what's happening outside. Lin Xiaowen was carried in by a man. What the hell, is that true? I was instantly numb. If I guessed correctly, this man should be Lin Xiaowen's boyfriend or something like that. I am in a dilemma now, whether I should go out or not. Why am I so unlucky? Stop it, I still have work to do. Lin Xiaowen was held in the man's arms, her face flushed, completely different from the ice beauty she had just had. Such a contrast makes people even more excited. Nonsense, there is no such thing as work. Is work more important than me? The man carried Lin Xiaowen to the bed, threw her on the bed, and looked down at her, his eyes full of crazy desire. Lin Xiaowen lay on the bed in a big letter shape, breathing heavily, her face flushed. Damn, this plot is a bit wrong, isn't it? I immediately cursed in my heart. I won't have to encounter this kind of thing twice today, will I? I met Chen Gang and that female member at the gym this morning, and now I'm at their home, and I encounter this kind of thing again. I am a young man full of vigor and vitality, and I have to endure 2 critical hits in a row. Who can withstand this? Baby, I'm coming. The man took off his shirt and pressed forward. Hiss. I watched the whole thing from inside the bathroom and couldn't help but gasp. The man's hand slowly moved down and was suddenly grabbed by Lin Xiaofeng. No. Lin Xiaofeng's voice had completely softened, but it still contained some determination. Chapter 5. Remember to add me. The man suddenly rolled off Lin Xiaofeng's body like a deflated ball. He turned to look at Lin Xiaofeng with some displeasure. No again. It's always no. Judging from the man's words, this was not the first time Lin Xiaofeng had rejected him. Not only did the man's anger disappear, but my anger also disappeared instantly. Give me a little more time. I'm not ready yet. Anything but that step is fine. Lin Xiaofeng took a deep breath. It's not that she is reserved, it's just that her feelings have been toyed with before, so she is extra careful now. Anything. A bit of evil fire appeared on the man's face again, and he spoke immediately. Then you can use something else. I instantly cursed in my heart, and just when I was wondering whether Lin Xiaofeng would do this, the man was already ready. I watched from the bathroom and couldn't help but laugh. This won't do. I thought I was so capable, but I'm not even half as capable as Chen Gang. You are still so angry. Aren't you afraid of dying at the hands of a woman? No, go ahead, I have something else to do. A trace of disgust suddenly flashed across Lin Xiaofeng's face, and she turned her head away and resolutely refused. Pretty. I punched hard and cheered in my heart. Is this guy worthy? Beautiful rejection. But I accidentally hit my hand on the glass. Although it was just a scratch and didn't make much sound, it still scared me. After all, I just watched the whole process. This is Lin Xiaofeng's secret. Who knows if Lin Xiaofeng would fire me on the spot if she knew about this. Okay, that's what you said. I'm leaving. The man was not satisfied, so he simply turned around and left, leaving very decisively. I bet that after this man walks out of here today, he will immediately find another woman. Whether he finds that kind of woman or his old lover, he will definitely not escape my calculation. Men understand men best, and I'll bet my second half of life on their happy sex life. After the man left, Lin Xiaofeng took a long breath and stood up from the bed. I originally thought that she was going to go out directly, and after she went out, I would leave without anyone noticing, and pretend that what happened today never happened, and everything would go on as usual. But what was unexpected was that Lin Xiaofeng actually walked straight towards the bathroom and came to the door. Have you seen enough? When are you going to come out? This sound gave me goosebumps all over my body. How did she know I was in there? This is terrible. If Lin Xiaofeng finds out, it would be easy for her to fire me because she has such a good relationship with the boss's wife. What if she goes and says a few words to the boss's wife and she fires me too? Then I'll be done for, right? Feeling very guilty, I pushed open the bathroom door and walked out, not daring to look up at her. I told you to find a bathroom to wash up, but you chose to find this one. Did you see everything just now? Lin Xiaofeng looked me up and down and regained her cold attitude. She was completely different from what she looked like when the man threw her onto the bed just now. Women change their faces quickly. Ahem, I didn't see anything, and I didn't hear anything. How did you know I was in there? I coughed dryly, still unable to figure out how Lin Xiaofeng knew I was in there. It was foggy in there, and I saw it last. Lin Xiaofeng spoke lightly. Although you can't see inside the glass from the outside, there is mist on the glass, and if you look closely, you can still see something wrong from the outside. As expected of a female CEO, she saw through me right away. So you knew I was in there, and that's why you stopped me from taking the last step. I don't know how, but I suddenly said this. As soon as I said it, I immediately realized that I had said the wrong thing and wanted to find a hole to crawl into. Who said they didn't see it? Sure enough, after hearing these words, Lin Xiaofeng's expression changed suddenly. I promise not to tell anyone. I raised my hand and made a promise in front of Lin Xiaofeng. I just hope Lin Xiaofeng can let me go, but please don't tell on me. Go back. I'll tell Hailu that I'll continue to buy you 20 lessons and you'll still be my personal trainer, starting today. But I don't want anyone except you to know what happened today. Do you understand? Lin Xiaofeng spoke the last 3 words with great emphasis and power. I never expected that this could be a blessing in disguise. Not only did I not get fired, but I was able to make money. No, why do I feel like she is trying to bribe me? Not enough? 50 classes. From now on, I will cover all your classes. Seeing that I didn't say anything, Lin Xiaowen thought that I complained that the money was not enough, so she spoke again. Lin Xiaowen was much more generous than the female member that Chen Gang hooked up with. Actually, there's no need to do that. Let's just settle the bill normally. After all, there's no reward without merit. Just don't let the boss lady fire me. I felt guilty. It was really immoral to see half of someone's body and then charge them money. I am different from Chen Gang. If it were Chen Gang, he would definitely ask for more. But I guess Lin Xiaowen will definitely give me extra lessons in the end, and I was just being polite. You're an interesting person, so let's do as you say. But what I didn't expect was that Lin Xiaowen actually nodded in agreement. What the hell? I even had the thought of banging my head against the wall and dying on the spot. I really wanted to slap myself twice. Why are you being so shameless? Then I'll go back first. The money was definitely gone, and it would be boring for me to stay here any longer, so I asked tentatively. Well, go back. I've already sent a message to Hailu. This is my contact information. Remember to add me. Lin Xiaowen nodded and put her business card in my hand. Even adding contact information requires others to add it. The president is the president. It takes half an hour to get from Lin Xiaowen's villa to the gym. Adding the time wasted at Lin Xiaowen's house, it was already approaching dusk. I suddenly remembered that Chen told me yesterday that she was going to the gym to sign up for a workout today. When I thought of this, I, who have always been frugal, quickly hailed a taxi and rushed to the gym. But we must not let Chen be assigned to Chen Gang's class. I know Chen Gang very well. If Yi Chen is assigned to Chen Gang's class, she will be in danger. Yi Chen and I grew up together, so it's impossible for me to not like Yi Chen. But I can't bring myself to say it, it's too familiar. In short, I must not let Yi Chen fall into the clutches of that bastard. Chapter 6: Hating My Own Incompetence. So I rushed to the gym as fast as I could. By the time I got to the gym, it was time to get off work. However, after getting off work, the gym is just starting to open. Hey, why are you back? How's the situation? When she saw me come back, the boss's wife immediately called me to her office and asked me about Lin Xiaowen. Oh, it's okay. She said she would contact you, Sister Hailu. It should be fine. Faced with the boss's wife's questions, I felt a little guilty. After all, what happened to me in Lin Xiaowen's house must not be known by the boss's wife. If Lin Xiaowen knew that I told these things to others, I would be killed for sure. Oh? Really? Nothing really happened. The proprietress stared at me suspiciously, and the cunning in her fox-like eyes made me even more panicked. But after all, I had promised Lin Xiaowen that I would never tell anyone, so I had to continue speaking hesitantly. What could happen? Isn't this just the job of a fitness trainer? Does Chen Gang have any new members assigned to his class today? I quickly started to change the subject. When I came in just now, I didn't see Chen Gang, nor did I see Yi Chen. Just when I was about to breathe a sigh of relief, thinking that Chen hadn't come, the boss lady's next words suddenly made me panic. You have the ability to tell fortunes, kid? Chen Gang did recruit a new member this afternoon, and she's a beautiful lady. That's not right. Didn't you always call him Team Leader Chen before? Why did you change your tune now? The proprietress walked up to me, stretched out a jade green finger, lifted my chin, and looked smiling. I suddenly felt like a little rabbit being teased by the big bad wolf. He hurriedly broke free from the proprietress's clutches and asked again hastily. Where are they? After all, I came back a step too late, and that bastard Chen Gang had already come into contact with Yi Chen. Yi Chen is young and beautiful, and any man will be moved by her. If Lin Xiaowen is the iceberg beauty, then Yi Chen is the hot girl, two completely different styles. If you have to say which one is better looking, I can only say they are equally good. Why are you in such a hurry? I'm trying out a class in gym number 2. The proprietress felt more and more that there was gossip. She put one hand on her ear, playing with a few strands of hair beside her ear, and looked at me with even more interest. However, I didn't have the heart to care about the boss's wife's little thoughts and rushed out of the office quickly. Pang! I kicked the door of fitness room number 2 open with a fierce kick. As soon as I entered, I saw a scene that almost made me collapse in anger. Yi Chen was doing some standard fitness exercises, and Chen Gang was giving her step-by-step guidance. Today, Yi Chen was also wearing the same simple fitness suit. There was no trace of fat on Lin Xiaofeng's body, but Yi Chen had a little more fleshiness. Chen Gang placed his hands on Yi Chen's lower back, pressing gently on her waist. It's the first time for me to see Yi Chen sweating profusely, with a flushed face, which looks quite beautiful. But I didn't have time to appreciate it. When I thought about what Chen Gang did with that female member in fitness room number 2, I instantly became furious. Xiaofeng, why are you here? Didn't your boss lady say you were out? Seeing me come in without saying a word and just looking at me with red eyes, Yi Chen felt a little strange and asked in confusion. You can't be in his group. I walked up quickly, grabbed Yi Chen's hand, and pulled Yi Chen behind me. I'm not sure whether Chen Gang would have affairs with every female member, but I know that Chen Gang would definitely have bad intentions towards a young and beautiful girl like Yi Chen. Why? Yi Chen touched my forehead with her hand to make sure I was not sick. She doesn't know Chen Gang's character yet, and it's not easy for me to expose Chen Gang in public. Besides, how can I tell Yi Chen about that kind of thing? If I expose Chen Gang's words and he turns around and says that I was also hooking up with Lin Xiaofeng, how can I explain it? Har, I think Xiaofeng is too tired. Yi Chen, why don't you go back first? Just think of today's class as a send-off for you. It won't count as a trial class. We can have a trial class alone another day. Chen Gang smiled slightly, looked very graceful, walked forward and said. Okay then, thank you, team leader Chen. I feel a lot more relaxed after you gave me a massage. Yi Chen nodded. It's hard for me to believe that they have become so familiar with each other after only being together for such a short time. The image of Chen Gang frantically outputting behind that female member began to emerge in my mind. Thinking back to the disgusting expression on that female member's face, that face suddenly turned into Yi Chen in my mind. I stared at Chen Gang with my eyes wide open, and during the time I was staring at him, Yi Chen had already left. Boy, is she your girlfriend? Chen Gang looked at me with a smile. If I answered yes, Chen Gang would definitely be more interested. Letting someone else's girlfriend be ridden by him, just thinking about that scene, Chen Gang felt his whole body getting hot. No, he's just my friend, a very good friend. I spoke word by word, almost gritting my teeth. Then you have no right to interfere in my affairs with Miss Yi Chen, right? Didn't the boss lady introduce you to a beautiful CEO? Just think about how to stay close to her. Don't worry about my affairs. What Chen Gang said was too much, very much. But no matter in terms of position or physique, I am no match for Chen Gang. Fortunately, I showed up in time today and stopped the two of them from continuing to be together. Otherwise, if time goes on for a long time, I really can't imagine what will happen. No, I must go back and try to persuade Yi Chen. Even if she insisted on working out in the gym, she could not be allowed to stay in Chen Gang's group. After all, Chen Gang's performance is much better than mine, no matter how he achieved those results. But one thing is certain, that is, in the eyes of the boss lady, Chen Gang is the gym's golden signboard. If I confront Chen Gang now, the boss lady will definitely stand on Chen Gang's side without a doubt. I began to hate my own incompetence. Right now, there is only one opportunity in front of me, and that is Lin Xiaofeng. As long as I have a good relationship with Lin Xiaofeng, she is the vice president of a listed company. My achievements will definitely be greater than Chen Gang's. Nowadays, whoever can make money is the boss. Sooner or later, I will trample this scumbag Chen Gang under my feet. Chapter 7 Secret. Team Leader Chen, are you free now? I have an appointment with you for a class, please don't keep me waiting for too long. Suddenly, a soft voice came from outside fitness room number 2. It was the same female member from this morning again. Didn't they just have some affectionate time this morning? Damn, what a bitch. If it's you, Miss Meow Meow, of course I have time. It's almost time for the gym to get off work. After working out, I'll drive you home. Chen Gang cast an aggressive gaze on the female member. He actually flirted with this female member right in front of me. You really don't avoid me at all. Okay, time is precious, let's not waste it, let's get started now, I can't wait for you to get off work early. Chu Miao Miao's face turned red, as if she remembered something. This guy also said he would take her home last time, but ended up beating her half to death in the car. But isn't this exactly why she fell in love with Chen Gang? I'm leaving now. I won't bother you anymore. I really couldn't bear to watch it, so I left after saying something coldly. Chen has her own car, so she gets home much earlier than me who takes the bus. By the time I got home, it was already dark. I stood in front of Chen's door, hesitant to knock and go in. I hadn't organized my words yet, so I didn't know how to tell Chen. After a while, I finally mustered up the courage to knock on Chen's door. Not long after, the door was opened. Chen was wearing a light yellow pajamas. A fragrant breeze floated into my nostrils the moment the door opened. It was obvious that Chen had just finished taking a shower. Xiaofeng? What do you want to talk to me about? Chen looked at me, with a hint of doubt in her bright big eyes. I just want to tell you, can you not go to Chen Gang's group to work out? You can find someone else. I plucked up my courage and stated my request. Why? There was even more confusion in Chen's eyes, and she didn't understand what I meant. No, I won't hurt you. Trust me. Just rest. After I finished speaking, I left in a hurry, fearing that Chen would continue to ask me something. The next day, the phone rang while I was still sleeping. After I picked up the phone and listened to their voice coming from the other end, the hairs on my body instantly stood up and I became sober instantly. Lin Xiaofeng. Didn't I ask you to add my contact information yesterday? As my personal trainer, do you want me to contact you proactively? Lin Xiaofeng's slightly annoyed voice came from the other end of the phone. Then I remembered that this happened yesterday. Yesterday, I was completely focused on Chen and didn't think about that much. Sorry, I really forgot just now. I'll go over now. I explained hurriedly. If we take a taxi there right now, it will probably take quite a while. I don't have that much time to wait for you. You can go to the gym, which is closer. Go find Hailu first and drive Hailu's car over here. Lin Xiaowen's voice was once again very cold. It is indeed unreasonable to let a vice president who earns millions of dollars every minute wait for me. It's so early, I don't know whether the boss's wife is in the gym. The gym is not far from my house, and it's early enough, so I arrived at the gym quickly. But what is strange is that the gym is not closed. It's so early in the morning, could it be that the cleaning lady came here? I was slightly stunned, but still stepped in and went straight to the boss's office. I had just walked to the door of the boss's wife's office and was about to knock when a blushing voice came from inside. Is this voice the boss lady? My heart tightened. Although this voice was a little different from the usual voice of the boss lady, I could still recognize it. Little fox, it's worth it that I paid 200,000 yuan for membership in your gym. Then, a man's voice sounded in the office. The boss lady is much better than that female member. The female member was the one who enjoyed it, while Chen Gan was the one who was working hard. But the boss lady is different. A finger was placed on the lips, and the small lilac tongue circled around the finger. Suddenly the sound became louder, and the proprietress's body trembled violently, and she collapsed in the man's arms. That's all. A smirk appeared on the man's face. My dear, I really can't do it anymore. The proprietress spoke in a pleading tone. If she continues like this, she really won't be able to see anyone today. I've come all the way here, you can't let me down, right? I was standing outside the office door, listening to the noise inside, and I felt like my whole body was on fire. No, I can't listen to this anymore. If I continue listening, I'm afraid my body will be damaged. I murmured in my heart and ran away quickly. I always thought that only Chen Gan was doing these little tricks behind the scenes. Unexpectedly, the boss lady also. Although the proprietress looks charming on weekdays, she doesn't appear to be someone who would do such a thing. I really admire that man. From what the landlady said just now, they had been having an affair for some time before I came. Lin Xiaowen is still waiting for me, and the proprietress is still in this state. It's not right for me to go in, and it's not right for me not to go in. Why do all these things always happen to me? This is the third time, right? Do I really have this unique physique? Ding dong, my cell phone rang. I picked it up and saw that it was a message from Lin Xiaowen. Chapter 8 sold. Lin Xiaofeng. What on earth are you doing? If you still can't see me in 15 minutes, I'll fire you. This sentence was followed by an annoyed expression. Judging from the 4 exclamation marks in the sentence and the last expression, Lin Xiaowen was really angry. It's over, it's over. What should I do? I was so anxious that I was sweating and could only reply to Lin Xiaowen first. It is not convenient for me to go to the boss lady to get the key. How about you give her a call, Mr. Lin? After sending this message to Lin Xiaowen, I went to the office door and waited again. It's still going on inside. After a while, the boss's phone rang. After picking up the phone and looking at it, the proprietress quickly gestured to the man to be quiet. Hi Lu, what are you doing? Are you okay? Lin Xiaowen's voice was a little uncalm. She is also a woman, so of course she knows what that sound represents. I stood outside the door, almost unable to hold back my laughter. Nothing. The proprietress tried hard to explain. I asked Lin Xiaofeng to get your car keys from the gym and asked him to drive over to my place. He told me that it was inconvenient for you. Please give him the keys quickly. I have something else to do later. Lin Xiaowen's voice came from the other end of the phone. R. When the proprietress heard this, her face instantly turned red to her ears. How could the boss lady not understand what was said? I'm waiting outside now. And I knew exactly what she was doing, otherwise why would I tell Lin Xiaowen that it was inconvenient? Damn, I was sold. I suddenly felt something was wrong and wanted to run away immediately. This Lin Xiaowen actually sold me out. After I quickly escaped, the boss lady sent me a message. To be more precise, they transferred money to me directly and told me to take a taxi immediately, and take the fastest taxi to find Lin Xiaowen. But this amount seems a bit scary. He transferred a total of 10,000 to me. Even if she pressed an extra zero, it doesn't make sense. A taxi fare costs a maximum of 100. Did she press 2 extra zeros? Was her hands shaking while transferring money while doing the business? But that doesn't make sense. Could it be that he wants hush money? While I was thinking about all sorts of things, I immediately took a taxi and rushed to where Lin Xiaowen was. By the time I arrived in front of Lin Xiaowen, it had been exactly 15 minutes, no more, no less. Lin Xiaofeng, what do you mean? Seeing that I had finally arrived, Lin Xiaowen's face immediately showed some anger, and in that anger, there was also a bit of shame and annoyance. It was all because of me that she heard that exciting phone call. Ahem, there's nothing I can do about it. How would I know what the boss lady is doing? This somewhat awkward explanation is obviously not convincing. Based on my understanding of Hailu, if I let you hear her little secret, you will suffer in the future. It's 1-to-1, so it's even. Come and help me train. Lin Xiaowen spoke calmly, which instantly made me even more nervous. Now I know the little secret of Chen Gang, Lin Xiaowen and the boss's wife. How am I going to live from now on? Suddenly I found that Lin Xiaowen walked strangely, as if she was limping. Although Lin Xiaowen was trying to restrain herself, I still saw through it. What happened to your leg? I asked. In this case, it is not recommended to persist in fitness. The most important thing is to heal the injury. Excessive exercise can have the opposite effect. It has nothing to do with you. If I stop your class, won't you be unable to make money? Lin Xiaowen was a little surprised, probably because she didn't expect me to ask this. Other fitness coaches are eager to get members to take classes, so it is indeed a bit out of place for me to ask this. Health is still the most important thing. If you damage your body, I won't be able to make money in the future, right? It's better to take it slow and steady. I touched my head and spoke angrily. After hearing this, Lin Xiaowen couldn't help but look at me a few more times, as if she was looking at an alien. I know how to give you a massage, why don't I give you a massage? Maybe it will help. Judging from your condition, you probably twisted your ankle accidentally, it's not a big deal. I took the initiative to offer to give Lin Xiaowen a massage. You really can. Lin Xiaowen still remained skeptical about what I said. No matter how you look at it, a fitness trainer shouldn't have this skill. Of course, I've been to the bathing city to soak my feet before, and I know the technique very well. It's very simple. I immediately patted my chest and made a promise to Lin Xiaowen. It's just a massage. Others can do it, but why can't I? Okay, I'll let you try. If it doesn't work, I'll show you how I'll deal with you. Lin Xiaowen sat down doubtfully and propped her long, white legs on the table. Looking at the pair of flawless white legs in front of me, I swallowed hard. Opportunities like this don't come around often, so I jumped at it. Place your hands between Lin Xiaofeng's ankles and press gently. The smooth and soft touch is truly enjoyable. No wonder there are so many foot fetishists in the world. With these legs, I can play for a year. After I massaged her, Lin Xiaofeng's eyes changed when she looked at me. I didn't realize that you're a fitness trainer and your technique is pretty good, but this is the first time a man has touched me here. Lin Xiaofeng's voice became a little gentler. I can't explain what the principle is. The reason why she didn't resist me might be that I already knew a lot about her yesterday. But I still feel that her words are weird. It feels like she is talking about something inappropriate. Okay, now stand up and see if it hurts less. After massaging Lin Xiaofeng's feet for half an hour, I reluctantly let go of Lin Xiaofeng's little feet. The first thing to do after a massage is, of course, to wash your hands. But when Lin Xiaofeng saw me, she immediately went to wash her hands, and her willow-like brows slightly frowned. You seem to dislike me. I was confused by her words. No, don't we all have to wash our hands? I can see that Lin Xiaofeng thinks I'm a pervert. So what? After I give her a massage, I have to not wash my hands for a whole day to savor the massage, right? I can't do such perverted things. However, if it were Chen Gang, it would not be impossible. Chapter 9 Rich Second Generation. You're a bit strange. Anyway, thank you for giving me a massage today. Although there is no practice class today, I will pay you back. Lin Xiaofeng stood up and moved around, and indeed felt better. Although it is not as difficult to conceal as before, it still takes some time to walk normally. Thank you, Mr. Lin. I'm so sorry. When I heard Lin Xiaofeng say this, a smile that I couldn't hide immediately appeared on my face. It's such a good thing that I can get money without doing much work. I don't mind if this happens every day. I'm going to a party soon. If you drive me there, I'll buy you a whole day's lessons. When Lin Xiaofeng saw me preparing to leave, she spoke up again to stop me. It is indeed inconvenient for her to drive in her current condition. It happened that her right foot was sprained. As their vice president, she doesn't even have a driver. It's really puzzling. Okay, I'll listen to Mr. Lin. I just didn't know how to face the boss's wife when I got back, and now I've walked into trouble. And I also enjoy this feeling. When I drive a Maybach, I deliberately roll down the window and feel the envious eyes from passers-by. However, when those people saw the beautiful woman sitting in the passenger seat, their eyes looked as if they wanted to kill someone. I must think that some rich second generation has kept a supermodel or something like that. Isn't this vanity satisfied all at once? Lin Xiaofeng. Just as I was waiting for the traffic light, a small electric scooter passed by. What a coincidence, the person on the small electric stove was very familiar to me, and I actually ran into my ex-girlfriend. Is this world really that small? When Fang Tingting saw me driving a Maybach, her eyes almost popped out of her sockets. Fang Tingting and I have been together since we were in college. After graduation, Fang Tingting despised me because I had no money, so she abandoned me. I was sad for a long time at that time. Long time no see. I coughed awkwardly. It was so awkward for these old lovers to meet each other. How can you drive a Maybach? Don't you have no money? Fang Tingting looked at me in disbelief, her face full of surprise and shock. However, when Fang Tingting saw Lin Xiaofeng sitting in the passenger seat, she seemed to understand something instantly. Lin Xiaofeng, you have been lying to me. You told me that you are an orphan and grew up in an orphanage with little money. But in fact, you are rich second generation. Fang Tingting's imagination exploded so much that I almost fainted on the spot. How did she come up with this idea? Well, listen to my explanation. I didn't want to get entangled with her, so I planned to explain and leave. But before I could say anything, Fang Tingting shouted again. Lin Xiaofeng, tell me, why is this happening? Are you angry with me just because I kicked you off the bed and didn't let you touch me? Doesn't that mean our 3 years of relationship is over? Fang Tingting's words instantly brought me back to my memories. I am actually still a virgin. Originally, Fang Tingting and I had the chance to take that step. But that night, Fang Tingting not only rejected me, but also kicked me off the bed. 3 years, I dated Fang Tingting and we never did that kind of thing. When I thought of this, I couldn't help but clench my hands on the steering wheel. Feelings? What the hell kind of feelings are there? Isn't it just because I don't have money? If I had money, Fang Tingting would definitely not be the same as before, and she might even be eager to do that with me. Miss, if you stop us from leaving like this, I can call the police to arrest you, do you know that? Lin Xiaofen, who was sitting in the passenger seat, lost her patience, turned her head and spoke coldly. Who is this woman? Fang Tingting stared at me with a scrutinizing look. In her eyes, I have become a hidden rich second generation. All she is thinking about now should be how to win me back. Money, it's all about money after all. Having money is the best thing in the world. You couldn't keep the man you wanted, but now he's with me. Is that a problem? You've been a virgin, a pure white lotus, but now that man is gone, you still want to snatch him away. If you don't get out of my way, I'll call the police and accuse you of harassment. Lin Xiaowen's words almost made me drop my teeth. Big sister, you can't say such things carelessly. I can't stand this. Hearing Lin Xiaowen's words, Fang Tingting subconsciously let go of the hand that was holding the car door. Taking advantage of this opportunity, I quickly stepped on the accelerator, felt a strong push on my back, and drove away. Why did you say that just now? As I drove away, I turned my head to look at Lin Xiaowen. Does she know how much trouble her simple words can bring me? If Fang Tingting was sure that I was a rich second generation, she would definitely try her best to get me back. To put it bluntly, it's not impossible for her to crawl into my bed on her own initiative. Don't you like it? If word gets out that you're a rich second generation, I wonder how many women will scramble to get into your bed, right? Lin Xiaowen didn't realize the seriousness of the matter at all, and instead was joking with me. This attitude is indeed much better than yesterday. At least it is not like the icy beauty style of yesterday. Don't get me wrong, I'm not that kind of person. I quickly began to explain. How could this beautiful vice president be so sinister? If I hadn't said that just now, how could I have let her go and wasted my time? Can you afford this responsibility? Lin Xiaowen looked like she was right. I was completely speechless. Why should I agree to send her to the party? As a result, he got himself into a lot of trouble. The banquet center is just ahead. Help me in, and then you can wait for me outside. Lin Xiaowen pointed to the huge banquet center in front that looked like a palace. Places like this are usually exclusive to rich people, and I definitely don't have the qualifications to enter. But taking this opportunity to help Lin Xiaowen in, I can go in and take a look. As soon as I entered the banquet center, I felt like a countryman entering the city. The scene simply refreshed my worldview. The banquet that Lin Xiaowen was going to attend was the most upscale one in this banquet center. But that was all I wanted to do. After sending Lin Xiaowen to their high-end hall, I left dejectedly and returned to the car, ready to wait for news from Lin Xiaowen. A fitness coach turned out to be Lin Xiaowen's exclusive driver. Who can I complain to? Chapter 10 Caught Unprepared. Although I feel depressed, it is still very comfortable to sit in this Maybach. After lying comfortably for a while, I suddenly felt the urge to urinate. Fortunately, there was a bathroom on the first floor of such a large banquet center. After releasing myself, I was planning to go back to the car and continue lying there. But a familiar voice coming from next door made me pause. How is it? Have you arranged everything? The voice sounded very familiar, and it seemed to be the voice of the man I heard at Lin Xiaowen's house before. Don't worry, Mr. Hu. Everything has been arranged. I bought it specially. It is colorless and tasteless. As long as Lin Xiaowen drinks it, I guarantee she will take the initiative to follow you. Another voice sounded. I knew what medicine it was as soon as I heard it. That Mr. Hu failed to get Lin Xiaowen yesterday, so he actually had such thoughts. But he is my official boyfriend after all. Should I interfere in his affairs? From the perspective of men and women, doing that thing is as normal as it can be. But Lin Xiaowen had already shown her unwillingness to do so. Now Mr. Hu is using such despicable means. It would be fine if I didn't know about it, but he made me know about it. If I don't care, I'm afraid I'll feel uneasy. Damn it. For future performance, I have to fight for it. After making the decision in my mind, I waited until the two of them left first, and then I rushed out immediately. Relying on my memory, I can still find the location of their hall just now. Just take Lin Xiaowen away before she falls into the trap. However, an accident happened halfway through. I was stopped by two security guards at the door and they refused to let me in. I was secretly anxious, this can't be delayed. I made up my mind and knocked down the two security guards. Since I can be a fitness coach, I am good at basic fighting. When I rushed in, I was looking for Lin Xiaowen in the huge banquet hall. When I found Lin Xiaowen, I saw that the wine glass in her hand had been almost drunk, and my heart sank instantly. How did you get in? Lin Xiaowen was very surprised to see me breaking in. No time to explain, follow me now, hurry up. I don't even dare to explain. I just knocked down 2 security guards. I guess someone will come to arrest me soon. I still have some time. The key is to quickly pull Lin Xiaowen away. I pulled Lin Xiaowen over without saying a word. Although Lin Xiaowen struggled, she was not as strong as me. I dragged him out of the banquet center. Who been chased after him like crazy? The fat sheep that was right in front of my mouth was taken away by me. I guess Hu Bin must be so angry that he will die. After being pulled into the car by me, Lin Xiaowen was extremely annoyed. Just at this time, the effect of the drug began to take effect. Lin Xiaowen only felt as if something hot was burning all over her body. An unbearable itchy feeling quickly filled the whole body. His face suddenly turned red, and his eyes gradually became blurred. I just heard your boyfriend in the bathroom trying to drug you and take advantage of this opportunity to take you down. I finally got in, but I was still a step too late. After I pulled Lin Xiaowen into the car, I explained to her while panting. But I soon realized something was wrong. Lin Xiaowen was breathing even harder than me. Lin Xiaowen pulled at her clothes uncomfortably, as if the burning sensation would be relieved a little after taking them off. What the hell can I do? I am anxious and panicked. How can I solve this situation? I am a grown man after all, and Lin Xiaowen is sitting in my passenger seat. Go home. Lin Xiaowen was still pulling at her clothes. Everything she was doing now was completely beyond her control. The clothes on the upper body had almost all been pulled off by Lin Xiaowen. The snow-white shoulders were revealed before my eyes. Fortunately, the inside of the car cannot be seen from the outside, otherwise passers-by would have to see it clearly, and sigh that God is kind enough to let them see such a beautiful scenery. I bit my tongue and forced myself to calm down. I didn't care about the speed limit and drove all the way back to Lin Xiaowen's villa. As soon as I arrived at the villa, the effect of the medicine was fully exerted. Boss Lin, where is the key to your villa? I couldn't open the door, so I had to ask Lin Xiaowen in my arms. She can't even walk now, and I have to carry her back. Lin Xiaowen wrapped herself around me like a water snake, and her hands kept wandering around on my body in a dishonest manner. I suddenly remembered that the door of Lin Xiaowen's villa was unlocked with fingerprints. I immediately grabbed one of Lin Xiaowen's hands and wanted to put Lin Xiaowen's finger on the combination lock. But Lin Xiaowen somehow found the strength to grab my hand. Hiss! Fortunately, I held back, and after a lot of hard work, I finally got in, closed the door, and let out a long sigh of relief. But I didn't expect that when I turned around, I was faced with Lin Xiaowen, who pounced on me. Lin Xiaowen was mumbling something. I leaned in to listen carefully, and suddenly a delicate face kept enlarging in front of me. The sudden kiss caught me off guard like a storm. My mind went blank and I just closed my eyes obediently. Damn it! Whatever. If I can't bear this, I'm not a man. I made up my mind and started to take over the initiative from Lin Xiaowen, who took the initiative throughout the process. Chapter 11: Maybar keys in hand. After the madness, I lay on the ground numb. Just now, the entire floor of this villa was the battlefield between Lin Xiaowen and me. It wasn't until it was all over that I realized what had happened. Broken. My heart immediately skipped a beat. I wondered if this could be considered drunkenness. Not really, I didn't drink, so what does this count as? Lin Xiaowen on the side had also come to her senses. Although she had just behaved like that because of a conspiracy by someone, she still knew exactly what she had done. You? Lin Xiaowen spoke first, but she hesitated for a long time and didn't know what to say. I was passive just now. I quickly began to explain. That can't be considered as me taking the initiative. Lin Xiaowen was riding on me the whole time. I haven't spent that much time up there. My clothes, give them to me. Lin Xiaowen looked down and saw that she was still without a piece of cloth on her body, with her snow-white body exposed. Lin Xiaowen's clothes happened to be right next to me, so I immediately took them and put on my own clothes. Why aren't you wearing it? Lin Xiaowen was silent for a long time. After a long time, she looked up at me and bit her red lips. What are you wearing? I didn't understand what Lin Xiaowen said at first, and asked in confusion. What are you talking about? I'm not in my safe period now. I can't help you doing that, but why not wear it? What if I'm really pregnant? Lin Xiaowen was a little annoyed and pointed at my nose and shouted. Involuntarily. You know I am involuntarily. I can't help myself anymore. Do you think I can still remember to wear that thing? How can I remember? It's already like this. I muttered, then immediately shut up. I don't know whether this can be considered as helping Lin Xiaowen. My original intention was to save Lin Xiaowen, and in the end Lin Xiaowen was saved, but the medicine was still used after all. But it was used on me. I was too excited just now and didn't even savor the feeling. What a pity. You are not allowed to tell anyone about this. As for Hu Bin, I know how to solve it. Lin Xiaowen's face turned cold instantly. The instigator of all this, in the final analysis, is Hu Bin. I was so excited that I wanted to cry. Oh my god, you are such a sensible person. I was afraid that Lin Xiaowen would put the blame on me regardless of the consequences. Such a big thing could be considered rape if it got out of hand. I can't escape at least a few years in jail. Just so you know. I nodded repeatedly and let out a long sigh. Here is 100,000 yuan. Consider it as your reward. Take the money and leave. Lin Xiaowen took out a wad of money for no reason and put it in front of me. This sentence hurt my heart deeply. This again. And this time he took out the money directly. Am I the kind of wild man that can be easily found outside? Or did Lin Xiaowen treat me like an unimportant duck from the beginning to the end? No need for money. After all, I have also received corresponding benefits. I will treat today's incident as if it never happened. Mr. Lin can rest assured. For the first time, I felt confident in front of Lin Xiaowen. After saying that, I turned around suddenly. I didn't know what Lin Xiaowen was thinking. But in my own opinion, I am really handsome. Looking at my back, I don't know what expression Lin Xiaowen had. There was surprise, annoyance, and a hint of admiration. After I walked out of the Viller gate, Lin Xiaowen's voice suddenly came from behind. Wait a minute. You have to explain away the fact that you were a rich second-generation kid in the car. If your ex-girlfriend tells everyone about it, won't everyone know everything? You can drive my car first. Lin Xiaowen casually threw the Maybach car key at my feet. Such a valuable thing was actually thrown to me by Lin Xiaowen so casually. I immediately picked up the key as if it were a treasure. Don't get me wrong, this is not something I really want. But how could such a thing be destroyed by Lin Xiaowen like this? That me. I picked it up and was about to refuse when Lin Xiaowen slammed the door shut. Is this a disguised form of compensation? I held the key to the Maybach and it felt heavy. But since Lin Xiaowen has given it so much, it would be a waste not to open it. Without much hesitation, I drove away immediately, and Lin Xiaowen stood in front of the window, watching me drive away, her expression becoming more and more complicated. Another day passed quickly, and as usual, every time I came back from Lin Xiaowen's house, I would check in with the boss's wife first. I parked my car in the gym's underground parking lot and was about to get out when I was immediately stunned. It seems that I learned the boss lady's little secret this morning. How can I face the boss lady now? Forget it, never mind, just I went all the way to the gym. I didn't see Chen Gang and Yi Chen in the gym today. It seems that Chen listened to me and did not come to the gym to work out. Is Xiaofeng back? As soon as I came back, I was called over by the boss's wife. As soon as I entered the office, the boss's wife looked at me strangely. Madam Boss, what's that look in your eyes? I felt a little guilty and lowered my head. You smell a little strange, did you do something? The proprietress's eyes were filled with malicious gossip. I was shocked. No way, can I tell by smell? I didn't do anything. Maybe it's the smell of sweat. What happened with Lin Xiaowen couldn't be known to anyone, so I had to keep it secret. But the way the boss lady looked at me remained unchanged. Seeing sweat on my forehead, she became even more certain. Xiaofeng, do you know that after doing that kind of thing, no matter whether it is a man or a woman, there will be a smell on the body? Most people may not be able to smell it, but I, your boss lady, am very familiar with that smell. The proprietress stared at me with a smile. What she said made sense. Chen Gang was messing around in the gym, and the boss lady herself. So it's not fake that I'm familiar with this kind of thing. Boss lady, please don't ask, it's really nothing. I was afraid that the boss lady would continue to ask me more questions, so I quickly tried to change the subject. HMPH, you little rascal, then I won't embarrass you. Let's call it even. You can keep what happened this morning to yourself, and I won't tell anyone about your relationship with Lin Xiaofeng. How about that? In addition, I'll give you a raise. From today on, you'll be the deputy leader of the male membership group at the gym. The proprietress snorted softly. There was actually an unexpected gain. Just give me a promotion and a raise right away. Chapter 12, Picking Up Corpses. From being a team member to being the deputy team leader now, it can be considered a promotion. If things keep going on like this, sooner or later, I'll be able to defeat Chen Gang. By the way, there is one more thing I want to tell you. Chen Gang took your girlfriend out for dinner, so he came to me today to ask for leave. The proprietress tucked her hair behind her ears and spoke casually. But his eyes were on my face, watching my expression all the time. Sure enough, after I heard this, my expression immediately became tense. If Chen went out to eat with that bastard, wouldn't he take advantage of her? I just witnessed another man drugging someone today. If Chen Gang did the same thing, wouldn't Yi Chen be in danger? Where are they going to eat? My breathing suddenly became heavy. Hey, she's not really your girlfriend, is she? Boy, isn't Xiaowen attractive enough to you? Even if you were asked to choose between the two, you would choose Xiaowen unconditionally, right? The proprietress's passion for gossip was instantly ignited. She was sure that Lin Xiaowen and I had done that kind of thing, and now I cared so much about Chen. Even a fool can see that there is something special between Chen and I. When encountering such a thing, and considering that women are naturally extremely curious, the proprietress would of course be very interested. What are you talking about, Madam Boss? Chen and I are not boyfriend and girlfriend, and Mr. Lin and I are not like what you said. I denied it immediately. But the look in the boss lady's eyes made me feel very weak. I'm not teasing you. It's really boring. Chen Gang usually doesn't take people out to eat. If I'm not mistaken, he should have asked your friend to go to the bar. There's only one bar near the gym. Do you understand what I mean? The proprietress finally let me go and told me the news about Chen Gang in a meaningful way. I'll go now. I immediately took out the key to the Maybach and ran downstairs. However, I didn't notice that when the proprietress saw the Maybach key in my hand, the expression on her face suddenly became even more exciting. He murmured to himself while looking at my back. I didn't expect that he would even give the car to this guy. It seems that I have to curry favor with him in the future. If he really gets together with Lin Xiaowen, he might become the god of wealth in my gym in the future. I had no idea what the boss lady was thinking. I quickly got into the car. The bar was not far from the gym. Plus, it was just getting close to dusk, so there shouldn't be many people around the bar. I just walked into the bar and saw a familiar figure in front of the bar. Lin Xiaowen? How did she end up in a place like this? There are so many good bars in Lin Xiaowen's home, so why would you go to a place like a bar to drink horse urine? In Lin Xiaowen's opinion, the wine in the bar is just horse urine, right? But now, Lin Xiaowen was dizzy from what she called horse urine. Hey guys, see that beautiful lady over there? Suddenly, I heard a whisper coming from the booth next to me. How can I not see her? She's just like a little devil. If I could sleep with her just once, I would be willing to die 10 years earlier. Another person spoke up. There was a booth next to me, with about 4 or 5 people sitting there. Judging from the way these 4 or 5 people are dressed, they should be young people in society. Now all their eyes were on Lin Xiaowen. I know this kind of people, they specifically squat near the bar, waiting for girls who are alone to come to the bar to drink. After the girl gets drunk, they take her to a hotel. Some even take her to a motel. After they are done, they just dump the girl out without anyone noticing. Hey, when was the last time we met someone this pretty? Oh, when I think of the last time, I can't stop thinking about it. It was all because of that chick. She was so tight that I couldn't hold on for just 3 minutes. Indeed, that girl is not only tight, but also moist. That feeling, wow, even I couldn't last more than 5 minutes. Look at you guys, you know nothing. That girl will shrink. This is the key point, do you understand? I just don't know what the girl in front of me is like. Listening to those people discussing their experiences, I just felt sick. Aren't people like this afraid of getting sick? They talked about it with such relish and even targeted Lin Xiaofeng. What a bunch of beasts. My original purpose was to find a Chen, but unexpectedly I encountered this kind of thing. If I don't care, I will feel guilty. Plus, I didn't see Chen in the hall, so I stood up and walked quickly towards Lin Xiaowen. "Bartender, give me another drink." Lin Xiaowen was half lying on the bar, with one hand hanging weakly on the bar, and the other hand raised up with effort to ask for a new glass of drink. "Stop drinking." I walked quickly forward and snatched the new glass of wine from the bartender. I took a look at the glass of wine and it turned out to be a glass of strong liquor. I don't know how many glasses of such strong liquor Lin Xiaowen had drunk during this period. In any case, we can't let Lin Xiaowen continue drinking. If she continues like this, something bad will happen sooner or later. "You're here. Leave me alone. What right do you have to control me? You're not my boyfriend." Hiccup. When Lin Xiaowen is drunk, she is a completely different person. She no longer looks like the usual aloof female CEO, but instead is kind of cute. "You can't drink anymore. Someone is watching you over there. If you continue drinking, what will happen? I don't need to tell you clearly, right?" I glanced towards the booth not far away. Those guys are still staring at Lin Xiaowen. "I know, you don't need to tell me, I'll go teach them a lesson right now." Lin Xiaowen came down from her seat at the bar and nearly fell down. If I hadn't supported him, he would have fallen to the ground. If I hadn't come today, Lin Xiaowen would definitely have been taken away by these guys. I couldn't imagine what happened next. Generally, these people, commonly known as corpse pickers, do not do it one-on-one. Even several people picked up the same body. Judging from the way they look, they are in the same group. After several people take turns to do this, it would be strange if Lin Xiaowen, who is so delicate and tender, is not beaten to death by them. "You guys. Do you want to wait for me to get drunk and pick up my corpse?" What I didn't expect was that Lin Xiaowen walked straight up to those people in a crooked manner. He stretched out a finger, pointed at the people in front of him, and started scolding them directly with a smell of alcohol and anger. I was completely stunned and could only respond with a "fuck" in my heart. Chapter 13, Competitiveness. When Lin Xiaowen finished saying this, I was stunned for a moment. "Big sister, I can't tolerate you being like this, can I? It's obvious that they are doing this kind of thing, so just keep it to yourself and you can run away as soon as possible. Once they get to know each other, they will be exposed. Who can predict what these scum of society will do?" What do you mean?" As I expected, these people's expressions changed immediately after hearing Lin Xiaowen's words. An unfriendly look fell on Lin Xiaowen. The look in their eyes looked as if they wanted to swallow Lin Xiaowen alive. "What do you want to do? There are so many people here. If you do anything wrong, I will call the police at any time." 0 inch. When I saw these guys all stood up, I was speechless but still stood up. "Brother, I advise you not to meddle in other people's business. This girl should have nothing to do with you, right?" The man who looked most like the leader stood up and cast a cold look on me. "She's my girlfriend, how come it doesn't matter?" I made up my mind and just said that Lin Xiaowen was my girlfriend. It's unacceptable to have such thoughts about someone's girlfriend in public, right? Even if I really fight with these guys, I don't think I will lose. I graduated from the police academy and my skills are not something that ordinary people can match. Girlfriend. If you didn't tell me she was your girlfriend, I might not be interested, but what I like most is married women. You probably don't know who my eldest brother is. Even if there's a fight, I guarantee that you'll be the one who suffers the consequences. After hearing what I said, the guy opposite didn't show any fear. Instead, there was a disgusting and lewd smile on his face. These people just winked in the direction of the bartender, and several bar security guards immediately appeared from the bar and closed the bar door. It was only then that I realized that the reason these guys could be so arrogant here was that they were essentially in cahoots with the people in this bar. Not only that, the security guards also approached me with unfriendly expressions on their faces. "What are you doing? Are you going to cause trouble?" Just as I was about to take action, a familiar voice suddenly came from the side. This voice was very familiar to me. I looked in the direction where the voice came from and it turned out to be Chen Gang. Yi Chen was standing behind Chen Gang at this time, looking at me with a worried look on her face. Yi Chen. After seeing Yi Chen, I was overjoyed. But she must have drunk a lot of wine today, her whole delicate face was red. Fortunately, the clothes on her body were still intact, without any wrinkles or signs of passion. Brother Gang. After seeing Chen Gang, those guys' attitudes softened significantly. It seems that Chen Gang should know them. I couldn't help but feel even more nervous. Chen Gang was so close to such people. I couldn't guarantee whether Chen Gang had ever been in cahoots with these people. If Chen Gang really goes along with these guys, Yi Chen will be in even greater danger. This is my friend. Stop messing around and let him go. Chen Gang looked at me with a joking expression. That expression seemed to tell me, boy, if I weren't here today, you would never leave safely. Originally, I should have been the one who owed Chen Gang a favor in this matter, but I couldn't feel any gratitude at all. Yi Chen, you come with me too. Without saying a word, I ran to Yi Chen and tried to pull her away. What are you doing? What I didn't expect was that Yi Chen actually shook my hand away. There seemed to be a hint of disappointment in the look in his eyes. Lin Xiaofeng, you should take your girlfriend and leave quickly. It's too careless of you to let your girlfriend come to a place like this alone. Chen Gang laughed at the side. Only then did I realize that Yi Chen must have heard me saying that Lin Xiaowen was my girlfriend. Yi Chen, please listen to my explanation. I wanted to explain, but Yi Chen's attitude was so cold that it chilled me to the bone. Team leader Chen is right. You should spend more time with your girlfriend. She might misunderstand you later. After saying that, Yi Chen turned around and left. This sudden change caught me off guard and I stood there in a daze, not knowing what to do. My head hurts, please take me back. I was just about to chase after her to explain clearly when Lin Xiaowen suddenly grabbed me from behind. I could clearly feel that Lin Xiaowen was much more sober. She looked in Yi Chen's direction, and actually took my arm and gave her a provocative look. On purpose. She definitely did it on purpose. Now I really want to find a brick to hit myself to death. What is this? Take me home. Seeing that I didn't answer, Lin Xiaowen turned her gaze to me and spoke in an unquestionable tone. If you don't take me home, I'll tell that girl about us. Just as I was hesitating, Lin Xiaowen's threat made me completely lose my temper. It was you who took the initiative, and now you are using this to threaten me. I'm really scared of you. Isn't it okay for me to listen to you? In desperation, I could only obediently support Lin Xiaowen and send her home. I just hope Chen Gang won't do anything out of line tonight. Besides, Yi Chen is not that kind of woman, so nothing should happen to her. While driving Lin Xiaowen, my mind was in a mess and I almost crashed into the roadside railing. What are you doing? Lin Xiaowen looked annoyed at my mistake. Sorry, I'll pay attention. I apologized immediately and forced myself to cheer up and not think about Yi Chen. Who do you think is prettier, me or that girl? Caught off guard, Lin Xiaowen asked this question for no reason. While asking this question, Lin Xiaowen intentionally or unintentionally pulled her collar down a little bit. A pair of beautiful legs and hipsters were also lifted up from the passenger seat and lazily placed on the center console in front of the passenger seat. I turned my head and took a look, and almost had a nosebleed. This woman, is this beautiful CEO also so good at seducing people? It's almost comparable to the boss lady. Is this the competitive spirit of women? But I also can't understand why Lin Xiaowen would compare herself with Yi Chen. Boss Lin, if you respect yourself, aren't you afraid that I will mess around? I swallowed hard and spoke with dry lips. Chapter 14, Not Thinking. Mess around. Then let me see, how are you going to mess around? Like before? You spent most of your time on me before. Lin Xiaowen gradually began to become more and more unrestrained. A pair of beautiful legs and hipsters went directly over the gear lever and reached towards the driver's seat. The little feet were raised and wandered back and forth on my chin. What does this woman mean? She made me feel hot all over. If we weren't in the car, I would never have been able to control myself and I would have done it to her right there and then. Anyway, she was the one who seduced me first, so I don't feel any guilt. Boss Lin, if you continue like this, I won't just be sending you home in a short while. She teased me so much that my mouth was dry and tongue parched. How can a grown man be teased by a woman like this? If I don't punish this woman when I get off the car, my life will be in vain. TSK, don't I know you? You have the will but not the guts. However, Lin Xiaowen snorted. Maybe it has something to do with my previous performance in front of Lin Xiaowen. Lin Xiaowen didn't think I would do anything out of line. This immediately raised my dignity as a man. If I didn't do something, Lin Xiaowen would have looked down on me today. Sizzle. When I drove to a deserted place, I braked and stopped the car on the side of the road. His eyes, full of fire, glanced towards the co-pilot. Why did you stop the car? When Lin Xiaowen saw me stop the car, she suddenly panicked. She has always been very accurate in judging people, and she thought I was an honest person, but it turns out that our eyes can be wrong sometimes. Boss Lin, don't you want to see how I messed up? I went straight over the passenger seat, pressed my body against Lin Xiaowen, and blew into her ear. Being pressed under me, Lin Xiaowen smelled the scent on my body and her whole face turned red. She had drunk some wine, and the effect had not yet completely dissipated. Now I was suppressing her, and the distance between us was almost face to face and heart to heart. You, don't mess around, I was just joking. Lin Xiaowen finally realized that I was serious and quickly turned her face away. Even her ears were red. I stared at Lin Xiaowen's delicate and small earlobes, which were also red, like a piece of blood-colored jade. In a fit of excitement, I leaned over and took Lin Xiaowen's earlobe into my mouth, my tongue constantly entwining and sucking on it. A tilde. Lin Xiaowen let out a soft moan and her whole body trembled as if she had been electrocuted. Hurry up, we can't do this here, really can't do this, what if someone sees us? Lin Xiaowen wanted to push me away with both hands, but her whole body was so soft that she couldn't do it at all. Get up. You were the one who teased me just now. Now that you want me to get up, you have to let me get some benefits first, right? I held Lin Xiaowen's earlobe in my mouth and spoke incoherently. After saying that, I let go of Lin Xiaowen's earlobe and moved my lips down along Lin Xiaowen's smooth face. My attack almost caused Lin Xiaowen to lose her defense, but I have to say that Lin Xiaowen's self-control ability is still very good. If you stop first, I'll give you something good. Lin Xiaowen was tortured by me so much that she started to speak while struggling in vain. What's the benefit? This sentence still works. I stopped and looked up at Lin Xiaowen. Now Lin Xiaowen is like a little white rabbit, curled up in the passenger seat. The last time I was intimate with Lin Xiaowen, perhaps because it happened suddenly, I never looked at Lin Xiaowen in this state so carefully. Lin Xiaowen in this state is so attractive that any man would not be able to resist her. Come closer. Lin Xiaowen looked around with uncertain eyes. When I moved closer, Lin Xiaowen suddenly moved closer too, and I felt a soft and warm sensation on my lips. It's like the feeling of the soil when rain drops onto cracked ground, filling up the cracks. Due to the temperature difference between the two, each other's tongue can clearly feel each other's presence. This kiss lasted for a full 5 minutes, and during these 5 minutes, I had no other thoughts in my mind. Just savor this feeling carefully and savor the sweetness in your mouth. After a long time, their lips parted. Is it okay now? Go back quickly, there are people coming up ahead. Lin Xiaowen didn't dare to look at me at all. She turned her head away and looked out the window. All right. I got some benefits, and it was Lin Xiaowen who gave them to me voluntarily, so I let Lin Xiaowen go. After all, I can't even clearly explain what my relationship with her is now. If I do that, I'll feel like a primitive animal who thinks with his lower body. Who is that girl to you? Lin Xiaowen spoke after a long time and asked me about Yi Chen. She's my childhood friend, right? That team leader Chen is not a good person, and I'm afraid she'll suffer. I spoke honestly and told her about my relationship with the Chen. I didn't notice that after I finished talking about my relationship with Yi Chen, Lin Xiaowen's chest seemed to rise and fall, as if she was taking a long breath. That has nothing to do with you. If they really want to be together, what can you do about it? Lin Xiaowen curled her lips, seeming a little unhappy about my meddling in this matter. Then whether we are consensual or not, it's hard to say. To be honest, this is my first time, and I gave it to you without thinking how unfair it is for me. I didn't sense the displeasure in Lin Xiaowen's tone, and I spoke up to protest my innocence. Could it be that you are at a disadvantage? Lin Xiaowen looked at me with a murderous look. To be honest, I don't have any objection, especially when the other party is a beautiful CEO like Lin Xiaowen. But the first time was so confusing that I didn't have any deep impression at all. If there was any, it was the image of Lin Xiaowen riding on him. But I am a man and I have no initiative at all. What's the big deal? If you were asked to choose between me and your childhood friend, which one would you choose? Lin Xiaofeng once again asked a question that surprised me. What does this mean? I have no idea. I didn't even think about it and just answered directly. Humph, what do you know? I'm here, just stop at the door, and then get out of here right away, don't even think about entering my house. Lin Xiaowen snorted, but it didn't seem like she was being impatient. I was speechless. Really, are you afraid that I might do something when I come in? As long as she doesn't seduce me, I can still behave myself. So, does this count as me being ambiguous with Lin Xiaowen? If that counts, then wouldn't that mean I'm the same kind of person as Chen Gang? Chapter 15: The Dark Boss Lady. By the time I got back to the gym, it was already midnight. At midnight, there were not many people still working out in the gym, but the proprietress still stayed as usual. Hey, you're back? How's everything going? When the proprietress saw me come back, she immediately walked over to me with a smile, put one hand on my shoulder, and asked with a malicious smile. Nothing serious, just a little accident. I answered calmly. What should I say? Should I tell you about what happened between me and Lin Xiaowen again? She's not your date, why are you so anxious to get close to her? Besides, if you have to choose, isn't Xiaowen better? Why hesitate? When the proprietress saw that I didn't say anything, she waved her hand in boredom. Lin Xiaofeng, you are really here. Just when I was speechless and was about to make up something and go home, I suddenly heard someone calling my name. When I turned around, it was Fang Tingting. I don't know how Fang Tingting found out where I work. I guess she must have asked a lot of people. Oh? Another debt of love. The proprietress had an expression that showed she was enjoying the fun. Just by looking at Fang Tingting's impatient expression, she could guess that there was definitely something going on between Fang Tingting and me. How did you find this place? I spoke impatiently. Why is this woman so difficult? Don't worry about it. I'm here just to ask you clearly what you mean. You are obviously a rich second generation and can afford a Maybach, so why did you pretend to be poor in front of me before? Fang Tingting stared at me, her eyes full of interrogation. The proprietress had something bad in mind, as if she was planning something. I told you, I'm not some rich second generation. If you don't believe me, ask her. She's my boss's wife. I'm just working part-time in this gym. That Maybach is not mine. I will explain everything clearly, whether Fang Tingting believes it or not, but this is the fact. No way, you are the major shareholder of our gym, and isn't that Maybach your own? Last time someone asked you to borrow it, you refused to lend it to them. How mean? Just when Fang Tingting cast her inquiring eyes on the proprietress. I never expected that the boss lady's evil intentions would be prepared at this time. After she said this, Fang Tingting became even more certain that I was a rich second generation, but I had been hiding it from him before. No. Madam Boss, isn't this a bad thing? How can you cheat people like this? The boss lady's words immediately made me frown. I guess she said this to get back at me because I found out the boss lady's little secret last time. I'm right. You guys can chat, but I still have to work. The proprietress raised the corner of her mouth. After leaving me such a mess, she walked away happily. It can be seen that the proprietress is very proud, as if she is evening the matter from last time. I now believe what Lin Xiaowen said before, that if I knew the boss lady's little secret, I would definitely have no good life in the future. Xiaofeng, let's start over, okay? After the proprietress left, Fang Tingting suddenly grabbed my hand and looked at me pleadingly. If it were before, when I still liked Fang Tingting very much, I would definitely be very happy if I could hear Fang Tingting say this. She has always been like this, treating me like a fish to be fished out. But now, I can't muster any interest in Fang Tingting at all. We are not suitable for each other. You said this. I replied coldly. Not long after breaking up with me, Fang Tingting immediately hooked up with another rich guy. But looking at her current state, she must have been thrown aside by that rich guy. After seeing me driving a Maybach, Fang Tingting concluded that I was also a rich second generation, so she came back to find me now. If it weren't for this, Fang Tingting might not even have looked at me until now. But you also lied to me at that time. You said you had no money, but in fact you were a rich second generation. I was wrong before. Let's start over, okay? Actually, I still love you. Fang Tingting took my hand and looked at me pleadingly. Seeing Fang Tingting now makes me sick. HMPH, let's start over. Don't think I don't know what you did with that rich guy. Since you broke up with me, you and him have been going to the hotel once a week on average. Do you really think I'm a fool? When I heard Fang Tingting say, actually, I still love you, I felt so sick that I wanted to vomit. He pretends to be noble in front of me, but I don't know how he behaves in other people's beds. Are you jealous? What I did with him, I can do with you too. Give me a chance, okay? I promise, I will make you feel comfortable. When Fang Tingting heard me say this, she thought I was jealous. Moving closer to me, two soft lumps of flesh kept rubbing against my arms. A hand drew circles on my chest, inadvertently and intentionally revealing the abyss in front of me. Not interested, don't bother me, I'm going home. My attitude remained cold. I shook off Fang Tingting's hand and left the gym. After returning to the car, I felt even more disgusted when I thought about the little tricks Fang Tingting used to seduce me for money. Why did I fall in love with such a woman in the first place? After I got home, I immediately went to look for Chen, but after I knocked on the door for a long time, there was no response. Is Chen not at home? As I thought about this, I became a little nervous. What else can a man and a woman do if they are not going home so late at night? Even when I called Chen, she didn't answer. This kind of situation has almost never happened. In the past, whenever I called Chen, she would answer the phone no matter what time it was. I still didn't believe it, so I just waited outside Chen's door. I just don't believe that Chen won't come back tonight. As time went by, I became more and more panicked. Just when I was about to give up and prepare to go back, there was finally movement downstairs. There was an Audi parked downstairs, and I could tell at a glance that it was Chen Gang's car. Chen Gang was seen helping the drunk Yi Chen out of the car. Chen Gang placed his hands between Yi Chen's waist and rubbed it dishonestly. Yi Chen had no reaction to this at all, because she was already drunk and unconscious. With the help of Chen Gang, he walked upstairs dizzy. I want to drink more. Yi Chen leaned on Chen Gang's shoulder and spoke drunkenly. Okay, let's go to your house for a drink. I'll do whatever you say. Chen Gang had a sly smile on his face, as if his conspiracy had succeeded. If I hadn't been waiting at Yi Chen's door today and let Chen Gang and Yi Chen enter the house, what would have happened is simply unimaginable. Chapter 16 Breakfast. When Chen Gang helped Yi Chen upstairs, he was stunned when he saw me standing at Yi Chen's door. His face darkened instantly. Obviously Chen Gang didn't expect me to appear here. Team leader Chen, thank you for sending Chen back. I'll take Chen back. Team leader Chen should go back and rest early. My attitude was very cold. This bastard really wanted to attack Chen. If I hadn't been on guard, he might have succeeded today. Didn't you send Mr. Lin off? How come you came back so quickly? Chen Gang frowned. In his eyes, Lin Xiaofeng was also drunk, so this was definitely an opportunity. If it were him, he would never let it go no matter what. But after all, this person is me, and nothing like that happened between Lin Xiaofeng and me tonight. But I couldn't help feeling a little scared. What if I lost control and entered Lin Xiaofeng's villa? Then I will definitely not be able to come back today, and Chen Gang will definitely succeed. I'm not team leader Chen, who likes to visit other people's homes. I replied sarcastically. Har, kid, you're lucky this time, but I don't believe you can stay by her side all the time. If she and I become boyfriend and girlfriend, then no matter what I do, it's natural, right? Chen Gang sneered. He didn't achieve his goal today, and there was a stumbling block like me waiting at Chen's door, so naturally he didn't dare to do anything rash. He could only hand Yi Chen to me, leave with a disgusting smile, and then turn around and leave. Yi Chen? Are you okay? I supported Chen, and she reeked of alcohol. How much alcohol did she have to drink? After taking the key from Chen, I opened the door and let Chen in. I had originally planned to walk away after seeing Yi Chen off at the house, but as soon as I turned around, Yi Chen immediately fell off the sofa to the ground. Worried that Chen might catch a cold, I had to stay at Chen's house. He also made a bowl of ginger soup specially for Chen. After feeding it to Chen sobered up a lot in just half an hour. When she saw it was me, Yi Chen looked a little confused. Why is it you? What happened to me just now? I don't seem to remember anything. Chen covered her head and felt a headache. It seemed that she had lost all memory of what happened in the bar. It was Chen Gang who sent you back. I was worried that he would do something bad to you, so I sent you in. I answered and said directly that I was worried about Chen Gang's problem. He's a nice guy, but I don't even know when you found a girlfriend. This is Yi Chen's impression of Chen Gang, but it's normal when you think about it. When I first met Chen Gang, I also thought he was a good person. What he is best at is deceiving people. That's not my girlfriend. How can I explain this to you? I am speechless. I have forgotten everything else, but I still remember this. Why not just forget this as well? But Chen Gang told me that the person is a member under you, and you are also her personal trainer. You go to her house again and again. Even your car was given to you by her, right? Chen's tone was sour, and I could clearly detect it. She didn't give me the car. Anyway, she and I are not that kind of relationship. But you, that team leader Chen, is not a good person. Can you stay away from him? My tone was very firm. After what happened today, I made up my mind not to let Chen continue to have contact with Chen Gang. If these two continue to have contact, problems will arise sooner or later. Who are you to me? Why do you care about me? I'm fine now. Go away. Chen's cold attitude left me unable to react for a moment. When has Chen ever treated me like this? What happened? Did Chen really fall in love with that bastard? Just like Chen Gang said, if the two of them really become boyfriend and girlfriend, then nothing I do will be of any use. Go out, I want to rest. Chen frowned and pointed at the door seriously. I took a deep breath and walked towards Chen. Yi Chen, will you be my girlfriend? Faced with my sudden question, Chen was stunned for a moment. He looked at me in disbelief, probably because he didn't expect me to say that. Why is it suddenly like this? After Yi Chen realized what was happening, her face suddenly turned red and she turned away. Because I don't want you to continue to have contact with Chen Gang. If you agree, then as your boyfriend, I will ask you to stay away from Chen Gang. Is that okay? I spoke bluntly. What he got in return was a big roll of the eyes from Chen. Lin Xiaofeng. Are you kidding me? Get out. I don't want to. Go find that woman. After saying that, Yi Chen pushed me out of the door without saying a word. After being kicked out by Chen, I realized how stupid my answer was. I wouldn't have said that if I had known. But this does seem to be a solution. As long as I pursue Yi Chen, then whatever Chen Gang wants to do will be impossible, right? Thinking I had found the solution, I fell into a deep sleep with satisfaction. The next morning, before I woke up, there was a knock on the door. Who is it, so early in the morning? Are you annoying? I opened the door in a daze with a confused head. As soon as I opened the door, a figure rushed into my house like a rabbit. When I saw the person in front of me, I suddenly woke up. Fang Tingting? How come you even know my home address? What on earth are you going to do? Fang Tingting is dressed very beautifully today. She was wearing a tank top that showed off her figure, and a miniskirt underneath. It is so short that it can make people imagine a lot at a glance. The smooth and white thighs can be seen from root to toe. I'm here to make breakfast for you. You drove me away yesterday and made me so sad. Fang Tingting was holding some fresh vegetables and breakfast that she had just bought. As the saying goes, if you want to capture a man's heart, you must first capture his stomach. Fang Tingting obviously wanted to use this method to make me change my mind. I said, I'm not some rich second generation. Can you see which rich second generation would live in a place like this? I am completely helpless. It's all because of what the boss lady said yesterday. If she had explained it to me directly, this kind of thing wouldn't have happened. This shows that you are low-key. I like low-key men. Fang Tingting is already certain that I am a rich second generation. As he spoke, he moved closer to me, his breath sweet as orchid, and he kept getting closer to me. At this distance, they either want to fight or kiss. I quickly took a step back, avoiding Fang Tingting's attack and not giving her any chance. Chapter 17. I don't know how to explain. I know you're still mad at me, I'm here to make it up to you, go and have some rest while I make breakfast for you. Fang Tingting was not angry when I avoided her. Instead, it aroused her desire to continue seducing me. The fact that she can win over other rich guys shows that she is quite capable in this area. Especially when she was cooking, the straps would slip down intentionally or unintentionally. It seemed that the entire upper body clothes were about to slip off. When a large area of white was exposed, she pulled her clothes up in time. Then the cycle repeats itself. I'm not interested in you, go away. I really couldn't bear to watch it, so I stepped forward and spoke up. Really? Then do you dare to make a bet with me? Fang Tingting had a charming smile on her face. She put down what she was holding and simply put her arms around my waist. He hugged me and stroked my back with his hands. He raised his head and placed light kisses on my neck one after another. I don't want to bet with you, go away. I know that if this continues, I will not be able to bear it. I must escape from this woman's temptation as soon as possible. But just as I took a step back, Fang Tingting's hand tightly grasped my waist, preventing me from leaving. The hand that was originally caressing my back came to the front and gradually began to move down. Even though I don't have that kind of thought towards Fang Tingting, I can't stand Fang Tingting being like this. You also said you had no interest in me. Fang Tingting came close to my ear and said these four words in a coquettish voice with a slight gasp. I got goosebumps all over my body instantly. No man can withstand these four words. Even I am no exception. Fang Tingting, you forced me to do this. The fire in my eyes almost burst out. This was something Fang Tingting offered to me herself, so I'll take it as compensation for the harm this woman had done to me before. Even if I do that with her, it doesn't mean I'm with her. I pushed Fang Tingting onto the sofa. Because of the intense exercise, the suspender top on Fang Tingting's body slipped off. Come on. Fang Tingting's pair of snow-white thighs hooked up directly. A pair of eyes, seductive as silk, tongue on the upper lip, one hand placed on the mouth, with that extremely ecstatic expression. This bitch really learned a lot from that rich guy. Lin Xiaofeng. Lin Xiaofeng. Just when I was about to get down to business, there was a sudden knock on the door. It's Yi Chen's voice. My brain, which was dazzled by the fire, suddenly woke up and I climbed up from Fang Tingting in an instant. Fuck, I was almost seduced by this woman. I immediately put on my pants and tidied my messy hair and upper body clothes. Fang Tingting remained lying on the sofa in the same position. Put on your clothes and leave now. I didn't look at Fang Tingting's body. I picked up the clothes that had fallen off the ground and threw them on her. After calming myself down, I walked to the door and opened it. What's taking so long? Chen stood outside the door, looking at me with a frown. Nothing, I just haven't woken up yet. What's the matter? I pretended to be calm and pulled my collar slightly. The kiss mark that Fang Tingting left on my neck just now must not be seen by Chen. Otherwise the misunderstanding will become a big deal. What you said yesterday, that. When I asked her this, Chen started to feel shy. Just tell me, what is that? I had just calmed down and didn't have the brain to guess what Chen meant. But if you use your brain a little, you will know what Chen is talking about. Yeah, go ahead. Suddenly, I heard another voice in my ears, and Fang Tingting appeared behind me without me noticing. A pair of hands wrapped around my waist from behind and the head rested on my shoulder, looking very intimate. You are? Fang Tingting. Of course Chen knew Fang Tingting and recognized her at the first sight. But she would never have thought that Fang Tingting would appear in my house. Yes, you are Chen, right? I heard Xiaofeng talk about you. Xiaofeng said you are very nice and that you are his best friend, no doubt about it. Fang Tingting leaned on my shoulder and answered. You. Chen looked back and forth between me and Fang Tingting. What do you think? Without waiting for me to speak, Fang Tingting took the initiative to speak. She even pulled down my collar, revealing the kiss mark she left on my neck. After seeing those kiss marks, Chen understood instantly and her face froze. No, Chen, listen to me. I quickly pried open Fang Tingting's hands that were wrapped around my waist. I was sure I could explain this matter clearly. But I felt guilty and didn't know how to explain it. If Chen hadn't knocked on the door just now, I would definitely be having a two-person battle with Fang Tingting. No, just pretend I was never here. I'm leaving. Chen's face was stiff. She raised her hand to interrupt me and finally looked at me deeply without giving me any chance to explain. Watching Chen walking away, I wanted to call out to her. But what Fang Tingting and I did just now made me feel guilty again. How could I do such a thing? Even if Fang Tingting offered herself to sleep with me, I couldn't accept it. I suddenly realized that I am becoming more and more similar to Chen Gang. Chapter 18 Panic. Fang Tingting. Watching Chen leave, I turned around and glared at Fang Tingting with anger in my eyes. What are you doing? Why are you being so mean to me? Fang Tingting immediately put on a pitiful look, full of grievance. I will never be with you, so don't bother me anymore and leave my house right now. I spoke in a very annoyed tone. Chen must have misunderstood something when she saw me and Fang Tingting like that just now. I guess I have become a scumbag in Chen's heart now. First he got involved with Lin Xiaofeng, and then today Chen caught me and Fang Tingting doing something. You might as well just kill me. There is no way I can explain it even if I want to. No, we were fine just now, weren't we? Fang Tingting held my hand and acted coquettishly in front of me. Before she knew it, Fang Tingting began to hate Chen. If Chen hadn't suddenly appeared just now, she would have definitely been able to take me down. As long as I sleep with her, she can use this as a threat and live the life of a rich second-generation wife from then on. But all this was just her imagination after all. Roll. I pushed Fang Tingting out and slammed the door shut. Then, regardless of Fang Tingting's constant pleas following behind me, he got into the car and drove away, leaving behind a pool of exhaust gas. Humph, sooner or later, I will take you down. Watching me drive away, Fang Tingting spoke through gritted teeth. But when I get to the gym, I'm not in the mood to work. Noticing that something was wrong with me, the proprietress came over to me at some point. What's wrong with you today? All the members came to me to complain about you. Although you are Lin Xiaowen's personal trainer now and need to be available at any time, you can't just ignore the members of the store, right? It looked like the boss lady was scolding me. But the gossipy look in the boss lady's eyes had completely betrayed her. Boss lady, do you know how much trouble you have caused me? All because of what you said yesterday. All my complaints came out at this time. If it weren't for what the boss lady said yesterday, I wouldn't be like this. You're still blaming me. I'm helping you, okay? That woman took the initiative to send herself to your bed. What else do you want? The proprietress curled her lips. It seems that in the eyes of the boss lady, she is still doing good deeds. Why don't you send me to bed? I laughed and spoke without hesitation. Well, kid, you actually have such an idea. Are you looking for a fight? The proprietress grabbed me by the collar and lifted me up from the ground. I realized I had said the wrong thing and quickly begged for forgiveness. I'm wrong, I just made a slip of the tongue. I just said it casually. I didn't mean it that way. Only after hearing me begging for mercy did the boss lady let me go. HMPH, kid, don't mess with my little ideas. But Chen Gang hasn't come today, and his member has been waiting for a long time. Why don't you go and deal with him first? The proprietress looked in a certain direction. I looked in that direction and saw Chu Miemia standing in the rest area, doing some warm-up exercises. That wasn't what I said to Chen Gang before. I blurted out, then shut up halfway through. I have a deep impression of Chu Miemiao. She had a lot of fun with Chen Gang in the number 2 gym. When passing by Chen Gang's car before, the person who was making love with Chen Gang in the car was also Chu Miemiao. Chen Gang stole your girlfriend, so why don't you also steal her membership? Isn't that great? As long as you have the ability to get her to agree to transfer to you, I'll agree at any time. The proprietress placed a hand on my shoulder and whispered half of the devil's words into my ears. I heard that Lin Xiaowen has something to do in the company today, so Lin Xiaowen probably won't ask me to come over today. I was just sitting around in the gym anyway, so what the boss lady said was not completely unreasonable. I can't eat this woman. I curled my lips, looking at Chu Miemia's unsatisfied look. When I recall the scene of her sitting on Chen Gang's body, twisting her waist and sweating profusely, I feel embarrassed. You won't know whether you can eat it until you try it. Go. This is a work arrangement. If you don't go, I will deduct your salary. In the end, the proprietress simply resorted to threats. Chu Miemiao is a big customer of the gym. Since Chen Gang is not here, someone has to take his place. Boss lady, you are so cruel. I gave the boss lady a thumbs up. They threatened me with deducting my salary, but I fell for it. Even though I was unwilling in my heart, in order to avoid having my salary deducted, I still had to bite the bullet and walk towards Chu Miemiao. Hello, miss. I am the coach under team leader Chen. I think you have an impression of me, right? I came in front of Chu Miao, and my opening remarks seemed a little dry. Chu Miao looked me up and down, thought about it, and nodded. I've seen you, what's wrong? It's like this, team leader Chen might have something to do today, so the boss arranged for me to help you with the exercises first. I spoke with a forced smile on my face. All right. Chu Miao did not refuse. During the entire training process, I deliberately kept a distance from Chu Miao. Even if it is necessary contact, it will be separated within a short time. What are you doing? Do you know how to do it? Is this all team leader Chen is teaching you? You are so far away from me, do I have fleas? Finally, Chu Miao got angry. Looking at me with an unhappy face. How could that be? Sorry. I complained in my heart, but apologized madly. Come and help me stretch my legs, or I'll complain to you. At Chu Miao's request, I had to take action. Press Chu Miao's thighs with both hands and press down gently. Chu Miao's thighs are very elastic. While I was massaging her legs, she kept staring at me. Her eyes were like a wolf seeing its prey, and it made my whole body go cold. I didn't realize you have some skills. Chu Miao's sudden praise left me completely confused. He was just shouting that he wanted to complain, but now he starts praising me. I really don't understand. In fact, you are better looking than Chen Gang. Although your figure is not as good as Chen Gang's, your face is indeed fair and tender, and you are more handsome than Chen Gang, which is not bad. Chu Miao stared at me for a while and then continued to speak. I was suddenly panicked. What does this mean? Could it be that she has a crush on me? I just came here to protest so that I wouldn't have my salary deducted by the boss lady. There's no need to do this to me, right? Chapter 19, Masculinity. Even though I feel that I am becoming more and more like Chen Gang, I absolutely cannot bring myself to do anything with a woman that Chen Gang has played with. Sister Miao, you'd better stop joking. I could only smile awkwardly and say this. Do you think I'm joking? It's okay. I'll give you some time to think about it. This is my phone number. Remember to tell me when you've figured it out. After Chu Miao gave me a coquettish look, she walked away from me with very seductive steps. Looking at Chu Miao's background, I just felt my scalp tingling. This woman is really a little too scary. How's she? She's pretty good, right? I don't know when the proprietress came to my side again, still looking at me with that malicious smile on her face. Obviously, everything Chu Miao said to me just now was heard by the proprietress. Boss lady, please stop joking with me. I'm not interested in her. She belongs to Chen Gang. I shrugged nonchalantly. This woman is too slutty. I can't eat her. Really? You are not interested, or you don't dare to be interested. The proprietress looked at me with interest. The look in her eyes made me feel as if I was stabbed by 1,000 needles all over my body. Just when I was about to speak, the boss's wife suddenly received a call. After hanging up the phone, the boss lady looked at me. Lin Xiaofeng asked you to go over now. Lin Xiaofeng asked me to come over. I was stunned. Didn't Lin Xiaofeng say that she had something to do at the company today? She means for you to pick her up at the company. She's waiting for you there, so go quickly. Seeing the confusion on my face, the proprietress rolled her eyes at me. Only then did I react and hurriedly drove to Lin Xiaofeng's company. When I arrived at Lin Xiaofeng's company, I just received a call from Lin Xiaofeng. I seriously suspected that Lin Xiaofeng called me at the right time on purpose. Come find me in my office on the 4th floor. Lin Xiaofeng's voice came from the other end of the phone. After saying this, Lin Xiaofeng hung up the phone decisively. I sensed something was wrong from Lin Xiaofeng's tone. Although when I first met Lin Xiaofeng's tone was not so good, it was even a little cold. But Lin Xiaofeng's tone just now clearly contained some deliberately concealed anger. I thought that I had never offended Lin Xiaofeng, so why would she have such a reaction? Xiaofeng, why are you here? Just as I walked into the company building, a familiar voice suddenly came. I turned my head and saw Yi Chen, who was wearing a smart suit, holding some documents in her arms. She was standing at the elevator door and looking at me with incredible eyes. Yi Chen? Why is it you? I was also stunned the moment I saw Yi Chen. As far as I know, Yi Chen doesn't seem to work for this group, right? I'm here to negotiate a contract. What are you here for? Chen looked at me suspiciously. I guess Chen thought that I wanted to come to her to explain what happened in the morning. I'm here to pick someone up. You go talk first. I won't bother you. I feel a little guilty. I don't know what Chen would think if she knew that I came to the company to find another woman. Strange. Seeing that I looked guilty, Chen began to doubt me. When I arrived at the door of Lin Xiaowen's office, I finally understood why Lin Xiaowen reacted that way. Because Hu Bin is now standing in front of Lin Xiaowen's face is now very ugly. It seems that Hu Bin had already arrived here long before I did. I immediately felt that something was wrong. Lin Xiaowen called me over at this time. Could she have some bad intentions? Thinking about it this way, I felt more and more that this was very possible, and I immediately planned to run away. That Hu Bin seems to be quite powerful. If I offend him, I will definitely be in big trouble. But just as I was about to leave, Lin Xiaowen suddenly saw me standing outside the office. Lin Xiaofeng, stop. Lin Xiaowen called out my name in the office. Grass. I cursed in my heart, can't the glass in this office be replaced with a wall? Lin Xiaofeng. Lin Xiaowen called me and I couldn't run away for a moment, so I could only turn around in disappointment. After being pulled into the office by Lin Xiaowen, he met Hu Bin's gaze head on. It was staring at me like a ferocious hungry wolf. This was the first time Hu Bin saw me, but his man's intuition told him that there was something complicated between Lin Xiaowen and me. He is my new boyfriend. Don't bother me anymore. Do you understand? Lin Xiaowen naturally took my arm and said to Hu Bin. 1,000 alpaca horses were galloping through my mind. I knew that coming here today was no good, but I didn't expect it to be so explosive. Lin Xiaowen is using me as a shield. New boyfriend, how long have we been apart? You've already found a new boyfriend. Whose son is this that you're so obsessed with him? The cold light in Hu Bin's eyes became even more violent. Lin Xiaowen held my arm and I was speechless for a long time. No matter who it is, being inexplicably pulled out as a shield would probably be very unhappy. This has nothing to do with you, Lin Xiaofeng. Why are you standing there like an idiot? Say something. Lin Xiaowen glared at me and asked me to say something. I let out a wry smile. Talk. What else could I say now? Humph, this guy doesn't even dare to stand out, he's just a piece of trash. I don't know why you like this piece of trash. Seeing that I didn't say anything for a long time, Hu Bin snorted coldly. I originally didn't intend to say anything, but after hearing what Hu Bin said, I immediately got angry. I am a man. Even if Hu Bin is rich and powerful, I definitely cannot tolerate him if he says this to my face. I am Xiaowen's boyfriend. From today on, I hope you won't pester Xiaowen anymore. This is Xiaowen's company. I'll give you some face. Next time if you are outside and I see you pestering Xiaowen, don't blame me for being rude. I straightened my chest and took a step forward. I have a good figure to begin with, and when I stood up straight, Hu Bin was really scared. Hu Bin subconsciously took 2 steps back, as if he was frightened by me. Even Lin Xiaowen was shocked by me. She probably didn't expect me to stand up and talk to Hu Bin like this. Okay. Just wait for me. Hu Bin knew that he was no match for me, and this was also Lin Xiaowen's company, so his face was gloomy for a while before he left after saying something harsh. Chapter 20. Something is wrong. I didn't realize you were quite masculine. After Hu Bin left, Lin Xiaowen looked at me, and there was something different in her eyes. You forced me to do this. If I had known this would happen, I would never have come here. I was speechless and naturally didn't have a good tone, so I just retorted rudely. You are my personal trainer. What's wrong with a personal trainer helping me with something? Lin Xiaowen stared at me with a smile and spoke like this. Hearing her say this, it seemed as if what I did was natural. What kind of personal trainer does this kind of thing? I'm now in a state of confusion. I wonder if this guy will cause trouble for me after I offend Hu Bin. If you want to cause trouble for me, I must ask Lin Xiaowen to help me no matter what. After all the trouble today was caused by Lin Xiaowen. Yes, I can pay you double the reward. Now send me home. Lin Xiaowen pinched her temples with a headache. Hu Bin came to the company and made such a fuss today that she was not in the mood to attend the meeting. So this is what you mean by double pay. I was suddenly even more speechless. Regardless of whether I am a fitness coach or Lin Xiaowen's personal driver, I deserve double pay. Stop talking nonsense. I have a terrible headache. Lin Xiaowen rolled her eyes at me, packed up briefly, and then pulled me out of the office. She subconsciously took me in her arms and took me out. I felt very uncomfortable facing the gazes of those people in the company along the way. Lin Xiaowen is a famous beautiful CEO. I don't know how many people want to climb up to her high branch. As a result, before they could even climb onto Lin Xiaowen's high branch, they were overtaken by an unknown person like me. I guess these people want to kill me. You're really not afraid of my death. If looks could kill, I would have died 1,000 times by now. I coughed dryly, signaling Lin Xiaowen to stop. This woman must have been my enemy in my previous life, otherwise she wouldn't have played me like this. It's all a trick, don't you understand? Hu Bin is a man of many tricks. If he finds out that this is fake, will you have a good ending? Lin Xiaowen acted like she was doing this for my own good, leaving me no chance to refute. The way he said this sounded as if this would prevent me from being bullied by Hu Bin. I had gotten used to those looks and had gotten much better. But when I arrived at the hall and saw a figure, I couldn't hold it in anymore. When Chen saw Lin Xiaowen holding my arm and leaving the company in a very intimate manner, her pretty eyebrows immediately wrinkled into a shape. I also saw Chen. Let go, quickly. After seeing Chen, I quickly shook my hands, trying to break free from Lin Xiaowen's control. However, Lin Xiaowen soon saw Chen, but after seeing Chen, she did not let me go as I expected. Instead, he gripped it tighter, and a soft feeling came over his arm. This feels good, but how am I going to explain to Chen in the future when Lin Xiaowen holds my arm like this in front of her? I was completely numb as Lin Xiaowen pulled me all the way to the car. My life has never been easy since I met Lin Xiaowen. It's that woman again. You seem to care about her a lot. Lin Xiaowen sat in the passenger seat very naturally, looking in Chen's direction intentionally or unintentionally. President Lin, this has nothing to do with you, right? I suppressed my impatience. I let Chen see what happened between me and Fang Tingting this morning, and now I let Chen see how close I am to Lin Xiaowen. I still don't know what image I have in Chen's mind now. You are my boyfriend in name only now. Is there anything wrong with me asking? Hurry up and drive me home. I don't know if Lin Xiaowen said this to make me angry or if she was serious. Anyway, after she finished speaking, I felt something was wrong. When will the term boyfriend be allowed to be used in name only? After sending Lin Xiaowen home, I plan to leave and stay away from this woman. Where are you going? Just as I was about to run away, Lin Xiaowen immediately stopped me. I've already sent you home. Isn't the mission accomplished? I looked at Lin Xiaowen in confusion. As a driver, I don't provide any improper ancillary services. You did send me home, but you are my personal trainer. I want to exercise now, shouldn't you be there to guide me? Why are you running? Lin Xiaowen's words left me no chance to refute. When I was helping Lin Xiaowen exercise, I was also absent-minded, thinking about how to explain to Chen. Although Chen and I are not in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, I still care a lot about what Chen thinks of me. Lin Xiaofeng. After my thoughts drifted for a while, Lin Xiaowen's yell woke me up. What are you doing? I reacted and responded quickly. What's wrong? You're so absent-minded. Believe it or not, I'll ask your boss to deduct your salary. Is there anyone who serves members like you? Lin Xiaowen was looking at me with dissatisfaction. Under my guidance, Lin Xiaowen has been doing squats. Lin Xiaowen's legs were sore for a while after doing it. If Lin Xiaowen hadn't yelled at me, I probably wouldn't have reacted yet. Let's change the project. I felt a little embarrassed, coughed, and decided to change to another exercise. But Lin Xiaowen's resentful look soon fell on me again. What happened again? I still didn't understand why Lin Xiaowen was like this, so I asked stupidly. I just did over 100 squats. Do you think I'm a robot? Am I not tired? Lin Xiaowen bit her teeth lightly, and I could tell that she really wanted to hit me on the head a couple of times. Then you take a break. I shrank my neck and asked tentatively. If Lin Xiaowen is allowed to rest, then I should be able to leave, right? Of course I need to rest, but you can't walk. You've made my legs weak. Can you help me solve this problem? Lin Xiaowen nodded first, wiped the sweat from her forehead, took a sip of water, and then spoke. I don't know why, but I always felt like something was wrong when I heard Lin Xiaowen's words. What do you mean I made her legs weak, and I have to help her solve it? Thinking of this, I swallowed hard, and the look in my eyes when I looked at Lin Xiaowen began to show some color. It's hard not to think of what happened in the car that day. Although it might be because Lin Xiaowen drank alcohol in the car that day, she looked better and sexier after drinking. Chapter 21 Tracker. It's not impossible for me to help you solve it, but I have to go and prepare. I coughed twice. Seeing my reaction, Lin Xiaowen immediately knew what I was thinking. He walked up to me quickly and hit me on the head without any hesitation. What are you thinking about? I was awakened by Lin Xiaowen's move. It seems that I have been led astray by Chen Gang. What the hell is going on in my head every day? Come and help me massage my legs. If something like this happens again, I'll show you how I'll deal with you. Lin Xiaowen lay lazily on the sofa, with her pair of long, white legs leaning to one side. I slowly walked forward and touched Lin Xiaowen's white legs, which were smooth and moist. Lin Xiaowen's skin is very elastic, almost as if it could be blown away. Once you touch Lin Xiaowen's legs, you can't help but want to play with them carefully. Lin Xiaowen leaned comfortably on the sofa and watched me massage her. From time to time she let out a comfortable moan. These soft moans were pure torture to me. How can it be so torturous? She knew I was massaging her, but she still made all these noises on purpose. Was she trying to make me lose control? Can you please not make any noise? I spoke with a dry mouth. I thought the proprietress was already quite charming, but I didn't expect Lin Xiaowen to be so capable as well. Damn it. Why do you control me? I feel comfortable but you don't allow me to make any sound. How can this be justified? Lin Xiaowen looked at me provocatively. Then her voice became even louder, and contained a hint of unbearable coquettishness. It seems that you are not a good person either. Suddenly, Lin Xiaowen spoke. What do you mean? Am I not a good person? I was stunned for a moment, then stood up suddenly. Fuck. I realized something was wrong with my body, so I quickly squatted down again. I had a reaction unconsciously just now. I was so absorbed in massaging Lin Xiaowen's legs that I didn't notice it at all. I told you, and you're still arguing with me. Lin Xiaowen smiled. I resisted the urge to scold her. Not to mention me, any man would be able to stand it. No man can stand you like this, right? I muttered, but didn't stop moving my hands. My hand reached up from the root of her thigh. Feeling the movement of my hand, Lin Xiaowen immediately opened her eyes wide and subconsciously shrank back. What are you doing? After stepping back, Lin Xiaowen looked at me warily. Didn't you just say that I'm not a good person? If I'm not a good person, shouldn't I do this? The leg massage is over, and next, it's the waist massage, right? I gave a wicked smile and put my hands into Lin Xiaowen's shirt and placed them on her slender waist. The cold touch gave me a shudder. Lin Xiaowen's originally fair face turned red in an instant. As soon as I got my hands on it, I knew I couldn't stop playing it, it felt so good. You said it, I'm a bad guy, isn't that what bad guys should do? My hands went higher. After Lin Xiaowen finished exercising, she changed into casual clothes. Is it the same with you and that woman? Lin Xiaowen's sudden words stunned me for a moment, and I came to my senses in an instant. He quickly pulled his hands out from Lin Xiaowen's clothes. Of course I knew who the woman she was talking about was. When I thought of Chen, I suddenly felt a sense of guilt. I clearly asked Chen if she could be my girlfriend before, but now I'm involved with another woman. What kind of person am I? Have I really become exactly like Chen Gang? What? Why don't you continue? Seeing that I was stunned, Lin Xiaowen's expression gradually became serious. As soon as she mentioned that woman, I stopped immediately. She must have noticed something was wrong. It's nothing. Just stop when you're done. There's a limit to jokes, right? I shrugged and explained. Although Lin Xiaowen is indeed very attractive, it will still take some time for me to get over the hurdle in my heart. Humph, you've done everything, but now you're a coward. Lin Xiaowen snorted and stood up from the sofa. Her words left me speechless. But those things that happened before only happened when Lin Xiaowen was not conscious. If Lin Xiaowen was awake, the probability of that happening should be very small. You didn't do anything, did you? I don't have any memory. I don't remember. I shrugged. I really had no impression of my first time with Lin Xiaofeng. Another stinky man, go find your little girlfriend, your work for the day is over. Lin Xiaofeng turned her back. From an angle I couldn't see, a hint of disappointment flashed across Lin Xiaofeng's eyes. Even Lin Xiaofeng herself didn't understand why she suddenly had such a feeling. She's not my girlfriend. I have nothing to do with her. I explained subconsciously. What about me? You and I didn't do anything either. Lin Xiaofeng suddenly turned around and stared at me with her beautiful eyes for no reason. I was shocked by Lin Xiaofeng's eyes and couldn't utter a word after stammering for a long time. Ding dong. Just at this moment, the doorbell suddenly rang. The doorbell finally saved me a lot of trouble and I quickly ran over to open the door. I thought I could escape, but when I opened the door and saw the person coming, I was instantly petrified. Before we could solve the problems inside, another one arose outside. Oh God, you might as well just kill me. Xiaofeng, I knew you must have another place to live. I was right. This villa is so beautiful and big. The person who came to the door of the villa was none other than Fang Tingting. I now seriously suspect that Fang Tingting has installed a tracker on me. Otherwise, how could Fang Tingting follow me wherever I go? Chapter 22 True Colors Revealed. The moment I saw Fang Tingting, my mind instantly collapsed. How could this woman be so haunting? Wherever I go, she follows me. Her again. The moment she saw Fang Tingting, Lin Xiaofeng also recognized her. Fang Tingting was deeply impressed by this woman. Last time when I was sending Lin Xiaofeng off, I happened to meet Fang Tingting on the road. It was also from that time that Fang Tingting started to think that I was a rich second generation. Such a big villa, and you still say you are not a rich second generation. You are lying to me again. You are so mean. Fang Tingting walked into the villa as if she was a familiar figure, and began to look around the entire villa. It was the first time Fang Tingting entered such a big villa. She was completely stunned. There had never been anyone wandering around here since ancient times. Seeing Fang Tingting like this, Lin Xiaofeng's face gradually began to turn ugly. Fang Tingting, this is not your home, not the place for you to mess around. I noticed the change in Lin Xiaofeng's expression, and hurriedly walked up to Fang Tingting and scolded her in a low voice. Isn't your home my home? What's the difference between us? However, Fang Tingting was determined and shameless. She threw me a coquettish look and continued to watch on her own. Please leave here. Finally, Lin Xiaofeng couldn't bear it anymore, walked up to Fang Tingting, and shouted with a little anger. A woman like this, messing around in her home, if it weren't for her good upbringing, Fang Tingting might have been kicked out by Lin Xiaofeng by now. I leave? Why should I leave? I'm Xiaofeng's girlfriend, who are you to him? Fang Tingting looked at Lin Xiaofeng provocatively. I don't know how she had the nerve to say that. When did I become her boyfriend? Lin Xiaofeng, take her away. I don't want to see her. Lin Xiaofeng couldn't do anything to Fang Tingting. No matter what means a well-educated person has, it will be useless in front of such a scoundrel. Come with me now. Don't embarrass yourself here. I grabbed Fang Tingting and forcibly pulled her out of the villa. I was speechless. Who on earth told Fang Tingting where I worked? If Fang Tingting hadn't known where I worked and lived, she wouldn't have been able to find me so quickly. What are you doing? Weren't we very harmonious this morning? If that woman hadn't disturbed us, we would definitely be very happy, don't you think? Fang Tingting moved closer as she spoke. Her eyes were seductive and her pair of white and tender hands went straight to my neck. This woman actually dared to seduce me like this outside. You misunderstood. I don't have any thoughts about you, not now, and certainly not in the future. I spoke coldly. At the same time, my brain was working rapidly, thinking about what I should do to completely get rid of this woman. That's not necessarily true. You're not like this to me during the day. Fang Tingting looked at me very provocatively and licked her lips. Now I understand why the rich second generation was seduced by Fang Tingting. He has completely lost all sense of moral integrity. I don't like to repeat myself a second time. I have nothing to do with you. Don't bother me in the future. After I finished speaking, I got into the Maybach and stepped on the accelerator, leaving Fang Tingting far behind. Fang Tingting came here because of me, so as long as I leave, Fang Tingting will naturally have no reason to stay here. As she watched me drive away, the charming expression on Fang Tingting's face disappeared in an instant. What came up again was a hint of impatience. Fang Tingting took out her cell phone and made a call. Liu-san, do me a favor. After driving away from the villa, I just felt very upset. Just as I was getting annoyed, the phone suddenly rang. Hello? Brother Feng, where are you? I picked up the phone and heard a man's voice from the other end. This guy is my best friend, his name is Liu Yarn. He is the one I have the best relationship with during our 4 years in college. I'm annoyed. What's the matter with you suddenly looking for me? I answered a little impatiently, because Fang Tingting's matter was really overwhelming for me. Add to that Yi Chen's side, I don't know how to explain it. All these things, put together, are really speechless. It's okay. I miss you. Do you have time tonight? Let's go out for a drink. Liu Yarn smiled and invited me to drink. During his 4 years in college, this kid played the role of a miser. There are not many opportunities for him to take the initiative to ask for a treat. Plus, I was already annoyed, so I just agreed right away. Meanwhile, in the gym. How is it, Miss Miao Miao, is my technique okay? In the number 2 fitness room again, Chen Gang and Chu Miao Miao were working out alone. Chen Gang placed his hands on Chu Miao Miao's waist, kneading and rubbing her, and stood behind her. If it were any other time, Chu Miao Miao would definitely be very excited. But today Chu Miao Miao was a little abnormal. She just frowned and seemed to be thinking about something. Seeing that Chu Miao Miao had no reaction at all, Chen Gang was also confused. But Chen Gang, who didn't believe in evil, immediately launched the next attack, slowly moving his hands upwards. I thought Chu Miao Miao would have some reaction by now, but Chu Miao Miao was still like a piece of wood, sitting on the chair in fitness room number 2, still looking like she was deep in thought. Ms. Miao Miao, what's wrong with you? Are you worried about something? Tell me, maybe I can make you happy. Chen Gang didn't believe it today. Just when he was about to attack an important area, Chu Miao Miao suddenly made a move. Finally there's some movement, right? Chen Gang subconsciously felt happy. I thought this woman could endure this for a long time, but now her true colors are revealed. But Chen had just thought of this, and the next moment he was petrified on the spot. Chu Miao Miao's hand moved down, but she didn't want to do anything exciting. Instead, she grabbed Chen Gang's hand to prevent him from taking any further action. Chen Gang was stunned for a moment. No, he had calculated that today was definitely not Chu Miao Miao's menstrual period. What is going on? It's bad enough that I was humiliated by that brat, but now even Chu Miao Miao is doing this to me. Could it be that he has Mercury retrograde? Chapter 23 Acquaintance. That's all for today. Chu Miao Miao stood up and spoke very calmly. There was no sign that she was aroused by Chen Gang at all. On the contrary, Chen Gang's face turned red from holding it in. Ms. Miao Miao, what do you mean? Did I do something wrong? Chen Gang quickly stopped Chu Miao Miao, who wanted to turn around and leave. He really couldn't understand what had happened to cause Chu Miao Miao's attitude towards him to change 180 degrees. I don't mean anything. That's all for today. Don't you understand? Chu Miao Miao looked at Chen Gang coldly. As crazy as she was when she was riding on Chen Gang before, she is as cold now. But if you stop here, what should I do? Chen Gang is about to explode now. He seduced Chu Miao Miao, but nothing happened to Chu Miao Miao, and it was him who became unable to bear it. Now that Chu Miao Miao has said that this is the end, she can leave, but what about Chen Gang? What should I do? Figure it out yourself. Do you still need my help? Chu Miao Miao glanced down at Chen Gang and spoke with disdain. After saying that, he turned around and left without even looking at Chen Gang. You? Chen Gang even suspected that he was dreaming. Things shouldn't be like this. However, Chen Gang felt so uncomfortable that he had no time to think about it. He picked up his cell phone and ran to the bathroom immediately. But what he didn't know was that after Chu Miao Miao left the gym, she went to the boss's office. Isn't this Miss Miao Miao? What's wrong? Are you dissatisfied with Chen Gang's service? Don't worry, I'll take care of her right away. When the proprietress saw Chu Miao Miao come in, she thought that it was Chen Gang who made Chu Miao Miao unhappy, so she immediately stood up and said that she would punish Chen Gang. It has nothing to do with him, Madam Boss. I want to ask, why is the person you arranged for me gone? Chu Miao Miao shook her head slightly and then spoke. Hearing Chu Miamiao say this, the proprietress suddenly realized. It seems that Chu Miamiao is already tired of Chen Gang's taste. But I am that kind of innocent and delicious girl, which makes Chu Miamiao quite interested in me. You are talking about Lin Xiaofeng, right? He is someone's personal trainer. Isn't he going to provide door-to-door service? The proprietress suddenly realized something, but her expression remained unchanged. I guess the boss lady didn't expect that I would become so popular overnight. Not only did I gain the favor of Lin Xiaowen, but even Chu Miamiao, who had always been good friends with Chen Gangang, began to actively ask about me. Personal trainer? How about this, you transfer him to me and let him be my personal trainer, and I'll pay double. Chu Miamiao said without any hesitation that she would give the boss lady double the salary and asked her to call me back. This is not good. The member that Lin Xiaofeng serves is the vice president of Guanghua Group. This is not a matter of money. The proprietress had no choice but to bring up Lin Xiaowen's identity. When Chu Miamiao heard that the other party was the vice president of Guanghua Group, her expression changed slightly. The reason why she is so wealthy is that she married a rich old man when she was young. After the old man died, she inherited all of his inheritance, which was at least 8 figures. But even if she had so much money, compared with Lin Xiaowen, there was still a huge gap in status. How about this? Xiaofeng needs to be her personal trainer on weekdays, but he will still come back. As long as he comes back, I will immediately arrange for him to be your trainer. What do you think? The proprietress obviously didn't want to miss such an opportunity to make money. Suddenly, I was the hottest guy in the gym. However, I didn't know about these things for the time being. I went to a restaurant according to the address Liu Yang gave me. This restaurant is quite large, and I found it unbelievable that they were so generous to a stingy person like Liu Yang. When has this guy ever been so generous? Moreover, Liu Yang himself was waiting for me at the entrance of the hotel. When he saw me getting out of the Maybach, he was stunned. Fuck, brother Feng, you really drive a Maybach. I didn't believe it when I heard about it before. You've become rich. When Liu Yang saw me getting off the Maybach, his expression immediately changed and he kept circling around my Maybach. The eyeballs seemed to be about to pop out of their sockets. I was also quite stingy when I was in college. After all, I had to save up even my living expenses. Who would have thought that I could afford such a nice car? Who told you I drive a Maybach? I frowned immediately. Not many people know that I drive a Maybach. Liu Yang and I don't have many common friends. The only possibility is that Liu Yang learned all these things about me from Fang Tingting. But Liu Yang already has a partner, so it is absolutely impossible for him to take the initiative to contact Fang Tingting. So all of this was told to Liu Yang by Fang Tingting herself. Oh, it's nothing, I didn't expect you to be so successful. It seems we have to call you Mr. Lin from now on. Liu Yang realized that he had said the wrong thing and quickly tried to cover it up, trying to get away with it. Liu Yang's girlfriend was standing next to me. When she saw me driving the Maybach, the look in her eyes changed. I have to say, this is the charm of luxury cars. Whose electric scooter over there belongs to? Move it away quickly, or I'll smash it to pieces. At this moment, bursts of noise suddenly came from not far away. Turning my head, I saw a young man in a suit getting out of a BMW, pointing at an electric bike in front of him and cursing. Mine! Mine! Seeing that the other party was really about to smash the car, Liu Yang hurried forward. When he came up to the young man and was nodding and bowing to apologize, he suddenly felt that the young man looked familiar. You are Yao Dong. After a while, Liu Yang called out the other person's name in disbelief. It was none other than a famous young man in our class when we were in school. This world is so small. How come I can meet acquaintances everywhere? Oh? You know me. Yao Dong raised his eyebrows slightly, and at the same time, a woman dressed beautifully got out of his car. This woman's face also looks familiar. She looks like the most beautiful girl in our class when we were in college. As expected of Yao Dong, he even got the class beauty. It seems that having money is good. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but turn my head and take a look at the Maybach. This thing is enough to buy several of Yao Dong's BMWs, right? Chapter 24 Bad Luck. Don't you recognize me? I'm Liu Yang, it's me, Liu Yang. Seeing an old acquaintance, Liu Yang approached him excitedly and was very enthusiastic. Liu Yang. A look of doubt appeared on He Yaodong's face. After thinking for a long time, he finally realized it. Although he recognized Liu Yang, the disdain on He Yaodong's face did not diminish much. Looking at Liu Yang's expression, there was a hint of teasing. He has always looked down upon such poor people. So it's Liu Yang. You didn't do very well in college. How come you're still like this now? You can't even ride a broken little electric battery. Wang Miayan must have suffered because of you, right? Liu Yang's girlfriend Wang Miayan happened to come over at this time. When he heard what He Yaodong said, his expression suddenly became a little unnatural. I don't know how lucky Liu Yang was in his previous life to be able to find such a beautiful girlfriend. Wang Miayan is not bad in all aspects. If Liu Ruyan is the class beauty, then Wang Miayan ranks second. Oh, Miayan is here too, I said the wrong thing just now. After seeing Wang Miayan, He Yaodong patted his BMW as if on purpose. Although it's just a BMW 3 Series, it's still far better than Liu Yang's. Yer Miayan, why are you still with Liu Yang? Look at me, I'm with He Xiao now, how great it is. At He Yaodong's eye signal, Liu Ruyan also stepped forward, snuggled in He Yaodong's arms, and said these words. The two of them sang the same tune, which made Wang Miayan look even more embarrassed. You're meddling in other people's affairs, aren't you? Just when Liu Yang was speechless because of the two of them, I walked up to him with a smile and offered to help Liu Yang out. When He Yaodong heard someone speaking for Liu Yang, he was subconsciously stunned. After staring at me for a long while, he finally recognized me and burst into laughter. Har har har, isn't this Lin Xiaofeng? You still have the nerve to speak for Liu Yang? I don't know who was chasing Fang Tingting in school, but ended up being dumped by Fang Tingting and cried for several days. As soon as He Yaodong saw that it was me, he immediately burst into laughter. Like Liu Yang, I don't have much money. He Yaodong looks down on Liu Yang, so naturally he is even less likely to look down on me. Don't waste time talking to him, move the car away and let's go in and eat. I'm too lazy to waste my breath on Ho Yao Tung. From the moment they saw Liu Yang and me, Wang Miayan and He Yaodong looked at us with two words written all over their eyes, contempt. Talking nonsense to this kind of person will only make you uncomfortable. Oh. After hearing what I said, Liu Yang immediately moved the car as I said. But he was not careful and accelerated a little too fast. He didn't have time to brake and ran past He Yaodong's BMW. Although Liu Yang reacted quickly enough and changed direction when he was about to crash into it. But it still left a scratch on He Yaodong's BMW. Damn it. Liu Yang, you want to die? Do you know how much my car costs? Can you afford it? When He Yaodong saw his car being scratched, he was instantly furious. When I heard him say this, I thought he was driving a Rolls-Royce. Sorry, my hand just slipped. I'm so sorry. Liu Yang hurriedly nodded and bowed to apologize to He Yaodong. Hey, this car is imported. I spent 700,000 or 800,000 yuan on it. If you hit it, I'm afraid it won't be easy to compensate for at least 20,000 or 30,000 yuan. He Yaodong snorted, and the lion opened his mouth and spoke. 20 or 30,000. Liu Yang was stunned for a moment. Just a scratch would cost 20 or 30,000. You country bumpkin, do you understand? This is pure imported car paint. It is not available in China. You have to order it from abroad. 20 or 30,000 is not enough for you. Liu Ruyan immediately followed up with an extremely harsh expression. When I was in school before, I really didn't realize that Wang Miayan would be such a person. But I don't have that much money. Liu Shan was suddenly extremely panicked. They are all recent graduates, and they only have a few $1,000s at most. How can they come up with so much money? No money. That's not impossible. Let your girlfriend stay with me for a day and let this matter be over. He Yaodong's eyes rolled around and fell on Wang Miayan, with the look of a wolf seeing its prey. No, He Yaodong, what are you talking about? Miayan is my girlfriend, how can I let my girlfriend accompany you? The corners of Liu Shan's mouth twitched wildly. This He Yaodong, his performance is so disgusting, isn't he it? He actually said this to someone else's girlfriend in front of her. If it doesn't work, you have to pay the money. As long as you can come up with 30,000, then we can let this matter go. He Yaodong sneered. Although Wang Miayan is not as good as Liu Ruyan, Wang Miayan's figure is unique. Even though Wang Miayan was dressed relatively conservatively, it still couldn't be concealed, and the buttons on her chest were tightly pressed together. 30,000, right? I gave it to him. I couldn't bear to watch it any longer, so I took another step forward. The boss lady gave me a lot of money before, plus the money Lin Xiaofeng gave me. I can easily take out hundreds of thousands of dollars, not to mention how much I have on me. Are you poorer than Liu Shan? You can come up with 30,000 yuan, are you kidding me? Yao Dong obviously didn't believe it and continued to laugh out loud. Send the code and transfer the money. My response to Yao Dong was just for short words. Seeing how confident I was, Yao Dong couldn't help but start to doubt. Does this guy really have so much money? After taking out the payment code with some doubt, I transferred the money to him in less than a second. Let's go. Don't eat here today. It's boring. After transferring the money, while Yao Dong was in a daze, I pulled Liu Shan and turned away. I came here originally for dinner, but ended up encountering this sort of thing. I have to say that my luck has been really bad lately. Wow, a Maybach. A commemorative model. Suddenly, a scream was heard. Liu Ruyan was one step faster than Liu Shan and I. She rushed to the Maybach and shouted in surprise. Looking at the Maybach, his eyes were full of envy and jealousy. I don't know who this Maybach belongs to. If Hua can get in the car and sit there, it wouldn't be impossible for her to sell her body to accompany the man for a night. Chapter 25 Counterattack. A memorial. When I heard Liu Ruyan shout out the words, commemorative edition, I was stunned. I didn't even know there was a commemorative edition of this thing. Brother Feng, your Maybach is a commemorative model. I heard that the commemorative model costs hundreds of thousands more, which is enough to buy Yao Dong's BMW. Liu Shan leaned close to my ear and whispered in a low voice. The value of those 3 words alone is already greater than that of Yao Dong's entire car, so there is no need to say more. Humph, isn't it just a Maybach? It's like no one can afford it. Seeing his woman running in front of someone else's car and doing this, Yao Dong's face turned dark instantly. When I heard him say that, I suddenly had a bad idea in my mind. From what master he said, you can afford this Maybach, right? I turned around and smiled at Yao Dong. Nonsense, it's just a Maybach, but I don't want to buy it. If I wanted to buy it, wouldn't I be able to buy it in a minute? Yao Dong is still being stubborn. After all, it's in front of my woman, I can't lose face, right? Well, then you can buy this Maybach. I smiled again and said so. Buy? You talk like a fart, is this car yours? And you said you would buy it, I would buy it immediately if the owner said so. If I hesitated, I would be your son? Yao Dong laughed at him again without any hesitation. Yes, it's mine. However, what I said next made Yao Dong's smile freeze. He took the Maybach key from his pocket and pressed the button to open the door. You. Seeing that I really had the key to the Maybach, Yao Dong's face was filled with disbelief. He couldn't believe it even in his dreams that the Maybach was actually his. What do you think? Didn't you just say that our brother Feng is a poor guy? Poor guys drive Maybachs, and you are not a poor guy, so shouldn't you drive a better car? Liu Shan seemed to have found a vent and vented his anger at Yao Dong. Yao Dong was choked by these words and was speechless for a long time. Looking at Yao Dong's expression, it's uglier than eating shit. Is this car really yours? Just when Yao Dong didn't know how to answer, Liu Ruyan suddenly walked up to me and asked me. There were little stars twinkling in Liu Ruyan's eyes, and she looked at me with admiration. Need I say more? I still felt a little guilty when I said this. But when I thought about the fact that I was trying to make this arrogant rich second generation suffer, I immediately straightened my chest again. Wow, you're amazing, aren't you? Why didn't I see that when I was studying? Liu Ruyan's attitude suddenly took a 180-degree turn. Just now, she was still full of disdain towards me and Liu Shan. Her attitude towards me now is so good that it can't be exaggerated. Is it not possible for them to be low-key? Do you think they are all like someone else? They are arrogant and domineering, and they would think that the little money they have would be flying into the sky. Liu Shan curled his lips and finally let out a sigh of relief. Yao Dong's chest heaved for a while, and he shouted through gritted teeth. Ruyan. Let's go. He is a smart man. If he stays here he will only continue to embarrass himself, so he might as well run away. I'm not leaving. Brother Xiaofeng, do you have time today? How about I treat you to a meal? What do you think? However, Liu Ruyan rejected He Yaodong's offer without even thinking about it. He Yaodong's face suddenly became even more embarrassed. In the past, he always stole other people's girlfriends. When had he ever suffered such a big loss? Originally, I looked down on women like Liu Ruyan. When she was in school, Liu Ruyan pretended to be very noble, but after entering society, she still followed the money. He is almost the same kind of person as Fang Tingting. But today, in order to piss off He Yaodong, I immediately forced a smile. Okay, I just wanted to treat you to a meal, how can I let you treat me? When he heard what I said, He Yaodong almost vomited blood on the spot. Damn, now he finally understood how those people whose girlfriends he had snatched away in front of them felt. He Yaodong's eyes turned red when he looked at me, and he wanted to kill me with his eyes. It's okay, it's just a meal, how much can it cost? When Liu Ruyan heard that there was a chance, she immediately agreed. She walked in front of me, stretched out a finger, and drew circles on my chest. He spoke again while teasing. Besides, I want to ride in your car, so let's just take what we need. Watching Liu Ruyan like this, He Yaodong felt stars in his eyes. I almost passed out on the spot. Damn, this bitch. I'll follow whoever has the money. Bitch. But what about your boyfriend? You have a boyfriend, don't you? I felt that was not enough, so I continued speaking and glanced in the direction of He Yaodong. How could that be? He is not my boyfriend now. If you want, you can be my boyfriend. I am willing to be your girlfriend. Besides, he is completely useless. He is just a 3-second guy. I have wanted to break up with him for a long time. Brother Xiaofeng _, you should be very good, right? Look at you, you have such a good figure, you must be better than that 3-second guy. Faced with the temptation from Maybark, Liu Ruyan has completely lost her mind. In front of everyone, he belittled He Yaodong and said he was worthless. Especially in that aspect, it is still belittling Ho Yutung. This is something that no man can ever accept. He Yaodong was the same, he was so angry that one of his teeth was broken. Good. Very good. Lin Xiaofeng. Just wait for me. And that bitch, who was it that said I was great when we were in bed? You forgot the time I made you unable to get out of bed, didn't you? In order to maintain his last bit of dignity, He Yaodong roared angrily. Just you? I didn't feel anything when you inserted it. Do you know what a train passing through a tunnel means? Oh no, that should be a toothpick stirring a water tank. You also made me unable to get out of bed. Can you do it? Unlike Brother Xiaofeng, who looks very powerful, you, Yang Weinan, should stop talking. Liu Ruyan fought back without any hesitation. To be honest, when it comes to viciousness, Liu Ruyan is definitely top of the list. I guess there are few women who can compare to her. I couldn't be happier seeing these two people fighting. For a man, being told by his girlfriend that he is incompetent in bed, just thinking about it makes him want to die, right? Alright. Alright. You're really good. He Yaodong is now unable to speak, his whole body is shaking wildly with anger. He never expected that he gave Liu Ruyan so much money. Now a Maybark has completely seduced Liu Ruyan away. Chapter 26. There is a solution. Is he really that exaggerated? I listened with great interest and couldn't help but join in the conversation. Of course. I wonder how you are, Brother Xiaofeng. Look at you, you are so strong, you must be very strong, right? Liu Ruyan nodded repeatedly, and then stared at me with a very charming look. He got closer and closer to me, almost sticking to me. He slowly moved closer to me, raised his head and leaned close to my ear, blowing soft air into my ear. Brother Xiaofeng, you can definitely make me unable to get out of bed _. Damn. This woman. I immediately exclaimed in my mind, this woman is even more capable than the boss's wife. It's so damn tiring to hear such words spoken so bluntly. Which man can stand this? Ahem, of course. I coughed dryly. Although I don't want to have anything to do with her at all, this matter concerns my dignity and I must answer it seriously. Then they are waiting. Liu Ruyan's tone became even more seductive, and she breathed slightly in my ear. He Yaodong was so furious that he opened the car door and slammed it shut with a bang. He stepped on the gas pedal and drove away as if to vent his anger. Seeing He Yaodong leave in such an embarrassed manner, I felt secretly happy. If that's the case, then the $20,000 or $30,000 I spent is not a loss, and it's not bad to make He Yaodong suffer such a big loss. Brother Xiaofeng, where are we going to eat? I know a hotel with great facilities. Why don't we go there to eat? Liu Ruyan was still very close to me and spoke in my ear. How about, we have dinner together next time? Now that He Yaodong is gone, there is naturally no need for me to act with Liu Ruyan anymore. I was about to refuse when I suddenly thought of Fang Tingting's matter. It seems that that woman is sticking to me now. Why not let Liu Ruyan help me restrain Fang Tingting? I just figured it out. The reason why Liu Shan knew that I drove a Maybach and that I was rich must be because he was in cahoots with Fang Tingting. It is even very likely that Liu Shan told Fang Tingting where I live and work. In that case, why not let the two women fight each other? If that's the case, maybe I can solve a big problem. No, I just want to have dinner with Brother Xiaofeng today tilde. When she heard me say next time, Liu Ruyan immediately started acting coquettishly in front of me. Because I am too close to Liu Ruyan now. As a result, Liu Ruyan was completely stuck in front of me, and now she was acting coquettishly and twisting her body in front of me. The feeling of being in ecstasy almost made me stand up on the spot. Okay, today is the day. You pick the place. I'll do whatever you say today. I agreed immediately. If she continues to seduce me like this, I, a hot-blooded man, will be burned to death. Okay, let's go, let's get in the car. When Liu Ruyan heard that I agreed, she was immediately overjoyed and opened the door and sat in the passenger seat. Looking at the luxurious interior of the Maybach, Liu Ruyan's face turned slightly red with excitement. You two, together. I looked at Liu Shan. This woman is really scary. In order to avoid any accidents, I decided to take Liu Shan and the others with me. Can we still go along? Liu Shan pointed at his nose in disbelief. Even a fool can see what Liu Ruyan wants to do. If I take them both with me at this time, wouldn't that ruin my own plans? Can we go together too? Liu Shan pointed at his nose in disbelief. He actually feels a little regretful now. Originally he was planning to help Fang Tingting deal with me, but today I helped him so much. Plus with Liu Ruyan's behavior, he could see that Liu Ruyan wanted something to happen between me and him. After all, Liu Ruyan is the class beauty, and she must be much better than Fang Tingting. If that's the case, he would be even more reluctant to ruin my good thing. Come on, get in the car, it's a free meal, and you don't have to pay for it. Without waiting for Liu Shan to give an answer, I quickly pulled Liu Shan into the car. With the two of them following me, even if Liu Ruyan wants to do something, she shouldn't do it so blatantly, right? Liu Ruyan was sitting in the passenger seat. When she saw me pulling Liu Shan and the others into the car, her expression changed slightly. She is a little devil among women, and she is very confident that she can win me over. As long as I was a normal man, she would never fail. As long as we get to the restaurant, she has 1,000 ways to make me want her. But if Liu Shan and Huang Mian were following her, it would be difficult for her to use her little tricks. Brother Xiaofeng, why do you want them to follow you? Isn't it good for us to live alone? Liu Ruyan looked at me with some dissatisfaction. Where is there a man who goes on a date with a woman and brings another couple along? They are all friends. What's the matter? Are you afraid of having to treat us to a meal, so you don't want them to follow? I smiled and spoke. How could that be? Brother Xiaofeng, as long as you are happy, why would anyone have any objection? In order to leave a good impression on me, Liu Ruyan of course didn't say much. She just smiled awkwardly and agreed. Sitting in the Maybach, Liu Ruyan squinted her eyes slightly, enjoying the endless comfort brought by the luxury car. According to the address Liu Ruyan gave me, I drove to a Western restaurant. The entire color tone of this Western restaurant is a bit weird, and it looks more like a Western restaurant for couples. Brother Xiaofeng, I have already booked 2 private rooms. Let Liu Shan and his friends have 1 room, and we have another room. The seats here are very small, and it will be very crowded for 4 people. After Liu Ruyan got out of the car, she spoke to me. Liu Ruyan also had her own way of dealing with the preparations I made. I deliberately arranged 2 rooms to separate Liu Shan and me so that Liu Shan and the other 2 would not disturb her. I think so. Liu Shan nodded repeatedly. He had wanted to take Huang Mian out for a good meal for a long time. This Western restaurant is very famous, and they usually don't have the spare money to eat at a place like this. As a result, This time it was all thanks to me that Liu Ruyan treated us, so we were able to come here to eat without spending any money. My tone of voice was a little strange. What the hell, are women's minds like a hornet's nest? I'm really sick of the fact that Liu Ruyan could think of a solution to this problem. Chapter 27 Couples Restaurant. Liu Shan, come with me first. I decided not to sit still and wait for death. It would be better for me to die than to let me deal with this woman Liu Ruyan alone. I quietly pulled Liu Shan aside. Liu Shan was pulled aside by me and looked at me with confusion, not understanding why I pulled him here alone. Brother Feng, what happened? Liu Shan asked. You and Fang Tingting are not simple, right? Fang Tingting knows so many things about me. Did you tell her all of them? I got straight to the point and asked directly. Facing my questioning, Liu Shan's expression seemed very unnatural. From his unnatural expression, I can be sure that Fang Tingting knows so much about my whereabouts, and it must be related to him. Fang Tingting came to me and said she wanted to get back together with you. I saw that you liked her so much, so I told her those things. Liu Shan was obviously a little frightened by me and hurriedly started to explain to me. Do I mean to blame you? What I mean is, can you send a message to Fang Tingting right now? Just tell her that I'm here and ask her to come over. I gave Liu Shan a speechless look. He meant well but ended up doing something bad, so I don't blame him that much. But what I want him to do now is to call Fang Tingting over right now. Brother Feng, what do you mean? It's not enough that you have Liu Ruyan, you want to play a threesome. Liu Shan opened his eyes wide and looked at me in shock. Why didn't I realize that I was such a person when I was studying? Now Liu Shan's eyes seem to be telling this. Bullshit. Just do as I say. Do you understand? I glared at Liu Shan. When did I become that kind of person? Understood, I'll do it right away. After I glared at him, Liu Shan instantly lost his temper and immediately did what I said. When I saw Liu Shan going to do it, I finally felt relieved, breathed a sigh of relief, and went into one of the private rooms with Liu Ruyan. The atmosphere outside was ambiguous, and the atmosphere inside the box was even more ambiguous. The surrounding murals and lights all exuded an offensive vibe. Brother Xiaofeng, what do you want to eat? Liu Ruyan sat next to me very naturally and got closer to me. You pay, you have the final say. I answered quite casually. Brother Xiaofeng, do you think I am delicious? Liu Ruyan suddenly put down the menu in her hand, her big, blinking eyes fell on me, and she looked at me in a daze. That look was as if he wanted to eat me alive. It's not nice to eat human flesh. I knew what Liu Ruyan meant, but I still tried to avoid it. I was secretly anxious. Why hasn't Fang Tingting come yet? If Fang Tingting knew that I was with Liu Ruyan now, she would probably be worried to death, right? What human flesh are you eating? Brother Xiaofeng, are you still playing dumb with me tilder? Liu Ruyan spoke in a very coquettish tone, then she stood up and sat directly on my legs. A pair of arms wrapped around my neck, she sat on me, breathing slightly. What are you going to do? My heart beat rapidly. Damn, this woman can't be so direct, right? After all, we are in a restaurant here. Wouldn't it be embarrassing if someone saw us? What's wrong, Brother Xiaofeng, are you shy? I've done this several times in the restaurant when I was with Hiao Dong before. Brother Xiaofeng, don't you think this is exciting? Liu Ruyan lowered her head and kissed me on the face and neck one after another. It's hard for me to remain completely unresponsive to this temptation. Liu Ruyan, who was sitting on me, obviously felt it. She smiled slightly and twisted her body even more. Hiss. The feeling of friction, coupled with what Liu Ruyan said just now, doing these things in a place like this can really make people feel excited. My whole face suddenly turned red. Brother Xiaofeng, you are really shy. Xiaofeng is not shy at all. When Liu Ruyan saw that my face had turned red, she became even more excited. Judging from my performance, I am different from Hiao Dong. Hiao Dong is a pervert who can even play games with Liu Ruyan in a place like a restaurant. I blushed immediately after being teased by Liu Ruyan. We were totally on a different level. Liu Ruyan became even more certain that she could take me down. After she said this, one hand dropped from behind my neck. Go down slowly. Brother Xiaofeng, you are so awesome. I took a deep breath again. I didn't know whether Liu Ruyan was flattering me or not. Anyway, after hearing this sentence, I felt very happy. Hey, of course. I couldn't help but reply with pride. Just kidding, this is about a man's dignity. But it's useless to just talk about it. Why don't you let me try it? Liu Ruyan leaned on my shoulder and whispered softly in my ear. Her words gave me a sudden inspiration. How scary. Just touching is not enough, you have to try it. I am really afraid that the waiter will open the door and come in. You haven't ordered any food yet. If someone came in and saw you, wouldn't it be so embarrassing? Brother Xiaofeng, you haven't made any movement yet, aren't you going to touch me? Is it because my figure is not attractive enough to you? Seeing that I didn't react, Liu Ruyan blew into my ear again. There is infinite bitterness in my heart. It's not that I don't want to touch it. If I touch it, I'm afraid I really won't be able to hold it back. It would be fine if it was somewhere else, but it has to be inside a restaurant. I have no experience in real combat in a restaurant, so how the hell would I have the courage to do that? Brother Xiaofeng, I'm itchy, can you help me? Liu Ruyan continued to blow in my ear. Every time she says a word, I lose a bit of my sanity. If this continues, in less than a minute, I will lose all my sanity. My first time was given to Lin Xiaofeng, and since then, I never had it again. Although the first time has been given away, there is no feeling. Strictly speaking, the first time still exists. But if I were to give my first time to a woman like Liu Ruyan, I would never agree to it.